Welcome!
Hello everyone, in this video I wanna talk a bit about the ping limit in Hunt Showdown. It has been introduced in Hunt almost a year ago and since then it hasn't been touched. The maximum ping you can have to play on servers is 225. It's quite a lot and you will see how it looks later in the video. The reason I'm making this video is that the devs said they can change this anytime, but nothing has been changed.
Correct. So as I mentioned, the new maximum ping limit is 225 milliseconds. So as I mentioned, that's the start point. Okay, we're getting the feedback. We can change the number anytime.
I don't wanna discuss if high ping gives you advantage or disadvantage, but it seriously makes the game unfun for everyone. You have super delayed trades, you die behind the walls, sometimes enemy shoots at you, and you get hit after a delay. Those situations are very frustrating, as you will see in this video, where I play South America server with ping around 225. So, enjoy the video, it's a special one. Okay, let's see if I'm gonna trade, yeah? There you go, man. Great example
Alicidra.
of why ping limit.
Welcome to my channel.
Okay, let's see if I'm gonna trade,
Drapsnat.
yeah?
Welcome to my channel. Kata. Welcome to my
There you go,
channel.
man. Great example
Nightbot.
of why ping limit should be
Welcome to
designed.
my channel.
What was that trade, man?
Good girlsage.
That guy's gonna rage now.
Welcome to my channel.
That guy's gonna rage.
Stream elements.
Yeah.
Welcome to my channel.
But you know
Restream
what I
it.
can say? It's
Welcome
within
to
the
my
ping limit,
channel.
so it's fine, you know?
Axe.
It's allowed.
Welcome to my channel.
Not saying it gives advantage,
Alien
but it's
Gathering.
so frustrating. Isn't
Welcome to my channel. Commander Root.
It's so frustrating for the
Welcome to my channel.
Let's shoot. Oh, you rest. What's happening, man? Okay. Everything is so delayed. Opening windows. Okay. Oh, didn't die. Oh, she died. Nice. She bled out. What? I hit that guy. Are you serious? Huh? That was so delayed that I didn't know I hit him. So scuffed. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Nice. This server
Ellen.
kinda crazy though.
Welcome to my channel.
Look at all the action here. Oh shit, oh shit. Yo, thanks for the gifted. And yeah, I can imagine how fun it looks from their POV, you know? Their POV must be so fun as well. Can we not arrest this guy? Oh, he's outside. I mean, do I risk that for my teammate? Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, for them the shots are also delayed. They're not as delayed as mine, but it's also very delayed for them as well. I know how it feels, man. I know how it feels. I fight players with similar ping early on.
Oh lord. Oof.
Goodbye for now.
At least in vanilla, but maybe that's something we can do in the.
Så nu eigentlich hin. Do I go in? Wait, someone is outside, I think. Okay, I thought that was headshot and I was waiting for it to register. Oh. Okay. So delayed, man. It's like confusing my brain. Nice, nice.
¿Mataste el Caín?
Sí. Who knows, man? I don't know, man. What do I answer? Where is he?
Está blanco.
I need to land, man. I can't. Give me this. Uno more, man. Uno more. Somewhere. Oh. Oh, wow. Not even death scream. He's running. There we go. Now the sniper. This is nice. Sparky, dude. Just what I needed for the sniper guy. I don't think it's their teammate though. Could be though. Let's try the risky play. Cross right here. So I think he's in the pitching side. Yeah, I mean, I'm a cat boy looking for a dominant woman. Bladder Claus, thanks for the 10 months. Appreciate it. Thank you. To the streak. I feel like he's like here somewhere in the bushes. Okay, he did rotate on the rotate. Oh. Dude. Like, come on, man, that's so delayed. The hive got him away though. Rotate on the rotate. Oh. Dude. Like, come on, man, that's so delayed. The hive got him away though. Ooh. There's two. Nice trade. Ooh. If I die here, I'm dead. Yes. Yeah, there is people that constantly think there is hunt is like full of cheaters, you know, but I can speak from my 9,000 hours experience. I'm at like 10 cheaters in total. They're here. Look how long it takes to ping, yeah? Fully late. Your flash bomb. Never mind. Wait, what? How's it white? Oh yeah. Yeah, man, most of the time, it's exploiters, you know? I met 10 cheaters, but I met like 1,000 exploiters, to be honest. And there is exploits that can actually give you like cheats, you know? So that's how people think there is cheaters. But unfortunately, it's only exploiters. And they get banned not forever, you know? So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you know, let it exploit the de-rendering, de-ranking. You know, some people de-rank and then they destroy lobby and then people think it's cheating or something. Where is everyone, man? Shooting range here. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Now imagine I shoot her and she walks behind the wall and then she dies. That must be a good feeling, no? Oh man. It's another team. Maybe I can allow one shot. I don't know if it's inside. And there is not many angles. Maybe here. It's like below. Oh, this is gonna be trade, man. I have a feeling. You know I saw him.
Viene ahí, amigo.
One more.
Apagame el brother.
There's still other team, yes. Yes. One more. Red. How do you say red? Rojo. Oh shit! Nice. White. Very good. Solo maybe?
Estamos todo el mundo, manitos.
Nope, nobody saw that. I should go buy bread. There is a bloodlord.
All of this eventually led to the first solo of pre-nerf Toadstool. And what do you get for killing this abomination? RGB lights. They did eventually nerf him down to 50,000 health, removing the time limit while they were at it, but despite that, he's still a really challenging boss. If you don't know what you're doing, even with multiple people, you will absolutely die to this guy. But Clay was not ready to give up yet. After adding Krampus back into the spotlight among other things, it was time for the final boss. The ancient Fuel Weaver was not only going to be stronger than everyone who came before him, but also much harder to find. Toadstool and Dragonfly could in theory be killed on day 1, since both of these guys are accessible from the moment you spawn in. But you should not be able to kill the final boss on day 2? That's I'm locking Fuel Weaver behind both the Ancient Guardian and this other guy who can only be spawned on new moons, which is day 21 at the earliest. After you acquire the Shadow Heart, you then have to kill every Tentapillar in the caves and find the correct one that leads to the Atrium, a secret cave in which the Fuel Weaver is summoned. All of that should take you roughly 30 days, which sounds about right for a final boss. And how will we make this guy impossible by yourself? Adding another 0 to the health bar has proven not to work, so instead we need to think outside the box. You know what one person can't do? That's right. Be 2 people at once. In other words, if Fuel Weaver is designed around needing to do 2 different actions at once, then bringing your friends along will finally be a requirement in Don't Starve Together. This is how the Fuel Weaver battle goes. Initially, it doesn't seem too bad. The worst that happens is he traps you in a cage, an attack that is completely unavoidable. But then he turns invincible, and then he begins eating small creatures to regain large amounts of health. You could try and remove his invincibility shield and then kill the little ones, but there's a catch. The problem with both of these moves is that they are on a short timer, and once that timer expires, he will use them again. And again. And again. And again. You could try killing all the shadows and then destroy the torches, but if you're too slow, Fuel Weaver will become invincible again and spawn even more shadow shitlings. It's virtually impossible to make any sort of progress in this fight without the Fuel Weaver spamming his invincibility shield or regaining massive chunks of health. It doesn't help that he also completely stun locks you every few seconds, and so you die. All because you're playing alone. The developers had finally done it. You needed a minimum of 2 people for this fight. You needed someone to deal with the shadow torches and someone else to kill the babies. Otherwise, you would not be able to kill the final boss of Don't Starve Together. Just kidding. Of course you can do this by yourself. Some people blew him up with gunpowder, while others found some weird method to trap him. But if you were really good, you could beat this guy by yourself without breaking any quote-unquote rules. With an inventory that looks like this, there's so many little tricks you can use to completely destroy this fight. Because apparently, you can dodge the undodgeable cage attack by just walking at the correct time. Yeah, here's the problem with trying to add boss fights to a sandbox game. Since the players have the ability to do basically anything they want, you can circumvent anything the developers throw at you with a little creativity. And just to prove that point, here's a little video of me killing the Ancient Fuel Weaver using my own method. It takes me a while to do because I'm an idiot, so this is a good time to mention that the community has found a way to kill this guy on day 2, as you can summon the shadow pieces on night 1, because of course you can. You can also skip that tedious Tentapillar quest by simply clipping outside the map and walking across the void to the atrium. Or if you're really lucky, use the moggles, zoom out and just teleport over there. Anyways, here's the method I was using. It's so easy to use. There's like no skill involved. You barely have to craft any special items for this. Although I forgot the spider egg. This is probably a bug, but I like to call it manipulation of the game's AI. The Fuel Weaver is just stuck here. He can't do anything, he won't move. And then I kill him as the weakest character in the game. The developers must have gotten sick of their own player base breaking Don't Starve, because the next update was super weird. That being the Forge. Get ready, because this special event would be all they do for the next 2 years. In November of 2017, a new temporary game mode event thing called the Forge was launched, where you queue up with 5 other players to fight waves of enemies in an arena. If this sounds like it has absolutely nothing to do with Don't Starve, not a combat game, then you'd be correct. This is the furthest they've strayed from the original formula, and it's the furthest they've ever gone since. Don't Starve hates achievements? The Forge loves achievements, including boring ones like beat the game as Wilson, beat the game as Willow, beat the game as Wolfgang, beat the game... You even get encouraged to come back every day because of this XP bar. Clay was so right that humans are boring, because the second players learned you get skins for leveling up, they began AFKing on servers and losing on repeat. The fastest way to get XP was to queue up for a game, sit on it for 30 minutes before losing, and do that on repeat for hours. And that's what people did. You had entire servers of players sitting still and doing nothing just to farm some useless in-game items. They were literally avoiding the whole game just to maximize on digital trinketry. Although it's worth noting that this was just a small portion of the player base. The whole Forge thing was very random. It's not that the Forge isn't fun or well made, but it feels like one of those Clay game jams on crack. Here's a random game idea, and let's use Don't Starve players to test it. The reason I bring this up is because 3.5 years later, Clay teased a familiar looking title. It's as if the Forge was a test to see if a full game like this could work. I mean, just look at the similarities between the attacks. Rotwood has to be the Forge full game. Stupid conspiracy theories aside, for a while the community believed that that's all Don't Starve had become. An abandoned game replaced with temporary events, where the only new features were the character skins added to the shop. The singular hope was this trailer for some Don't Steam Hams DLC, but the last we heard of that was like 2 years ago, so it's probably cancelled. And then, at E3 2018, Clay randomly announced that Don't Starve Hamlet would be coming summer 2018, which was then quickly changed to December 2018. Which was then changed to summer 2019. Yeah, I don't know. This expansion took so long to make in comparison to anything else. Its earliest public beta was launched in August and wouldn't properly release until 9 months later. Apparently, Hamlet as a concept was just barely made. The team was supposed to stop at Shipwrecked, but they still had a few ideas they never did anything with, so they made Hamlet. This is how you know Hamlet will be
cooldown
great.
commands
There
are now
almost
active.
definitely won't be another single-player DLC ever again, but the fact that this one exists purely out of passion is a good sign for
DTD, a
its
new vote
quality.
has started.
Here's a fun fact. If you signed up for the beta in August and offered to test the game, you would get the full DLC for free. All because you reported the same bug 200 people did before you.
That just signs.
Add that to the pile of stuff you could get without paying if you were around at a certain time. But back to Hamlet. I love this DLC. Shipwrecked seasons were somewhat predictable, as the base game already established that they change every 20 days. Yet one of my first deaths in Hamlet involved me fighting a hippo on day 11 before suddenly the music changes, a bunch of fog appears, I can't see anything, I can't move, and then I died because the season changed. Hamlet sees the constants set up by the base game and burns them to the ground. In the base game, berry bushes can be found all over the map, acting as a free, easy, renewable food source. Not even the pigs in the pig village will care if you steal their berry
DTD voting is
supply.
complete and the
Hamlet
viewers
has
have
no
chosen
easy
jumbled
food sources.
backpack.
There's an abundance of random vegetables you can forage off the floor, but once they're gone, and you'll have to resort to killing insects, most of whom drop inedible monster meat. There is berry bushes, but all of them spawn in the pig fields, guarded by pig guards. Pig guards who will begin murdering you for committing the most petty of crimes. That's the thing. They don't just attack you. The pig guards seek to punish you for breaking the law. Every other Don't Starve mob forgets after a while. Beefaloes will forget that you killed their brethren if you walk away. Tall birds will forget you stole their firstborn if you walk away. The one exception to this are the tree guards who will stalk you across the map, but even they forget your actions if you just reopen the world or put them to sleep. The pig guards are much smarter. Not only do they remember every crime you commit, but they also don't follow you too far out of their guarding grounds. They fully allow you to leave the pig kingdom just as long as you don't come back. If you do return, the pig guards will be just as ready to kill you for that flower you stole 20 days ago. The pig guards will only forgive you after you either die or you pay them off with cash. Because this world is also insanely corrupt. The pig guards merely pretend to keep the peace, because as soon as money is involved, they lose all their morality. I was attacked by a pig robber once, causing all my 100 oinks to spill out on the floor. And instead of apprehending the thief, the pig guards began assisting his robbery and started stealing my coins as well. One time, I even saw them attacking each other because the guards saw each other stealing money off the ground. They would brutally murder a pig guard because they stole a coin off the floor, then steal his coin, which would cause another guard to come in and kill him. Another departure from the series is the inclusion of infinite light. Previously, the game made it clear that nothing could be free because everything had to have a cost. This included light. You always had to spend some sort of resource to create light. Any glitches that broke the game to create infinite light would be quickly patched out. And yet, Hamlet gives you a permanent source of free light on day one. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from living on the streets of the pig city while abusing the street lamps and guards for protection. The bats, which act as Hamlet's hound waves, are of no threat, because the pig guards will always outnumber them. Even if the guards accidentally burn down a few houses, it doesn't matter, since a convenient pig builder will magically appear to rebuild everything back to normal. You are playing an uncompromising survival game, and yet there exists this paradise that counters all the game's mechanics for you. The previously mentioned fog season can be completely negated by entering a building or even buying your own house. But despite the complete and total safety, it still comes at a cost. Starvation. In the original game, there is a common meme about how in Don't Starve, starvation is actually the least of your problems. But somehow, Hamlet turned that premise on its head by making it the biggest problem, at least in the pig city. Hunger is the one challenge that can't be easily overcome here. Sure, there is shops that sell you food, but everything in them is horrifically overpriced, which forces you to either explore dangerous ruins and sell ancient artifacts for money, or find a clever way of producing oinks. Alternatively, you could turn to a life of crime and steal the berries, but the guards won't be too happy about that. If the DLC was only about a pig city, then I think it would be pretty boring. However, just like in the original concept for Don't Starve, Hamlet has a relaxed city building section and a more interesting survival action focused adventure part. The game advertises itself as a city building simulator, yet there's a good chance that on your first few playthroughs, you won't even find the pig city. I would argue that it only covers about 15% of the total map. The rest is this unique Monteverde inspired wilderness, unlike anything else in Don't Starve. My favorite aspect of exploration is how for the first time there is actually stuff to do. There's goals to complete. I don't disagree with the idea that coming up with your own goals holds more value than the ones the game gives you, but Sometimes you need something to work towards. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting at my base doing nothing because I figured out how to survive, and the only interesting thing left at that point are the giants, which rarely spawn. Once you raid the ruins and Shipwrecked Volcano, there's not much else to do other than survive indefinitely. But Hamlet changes this. There's so much to do, and so much to find that if I told you all about it, I'd feel like I'm spoiling the game.
DTD
So I
cooldown
won't.
commands are now
Mostly
active.
because similar to Shipwrecked, I cannot find any cool design details about Hamlet. The mechanics I discussed earlier are just things I noticed while playing the game, and not necessarily something the developers intended to add. There is, however, one thing they intended to remove, and that is Hamlet's first character, Warbucks. Warbucks is an interesting example of why early access can be a bad idea. Here is the timeline of events. Warbucks is a character available from the earliest public beta, with some quotes that should probably not be added to a character in this game. After Clay changed some of his lines to make them more appropriate, they still weren't happy with how he played. There was clearly some fundamental issue here, which is why the developers removed him and started again. The removal of Warbucks was very controversial, but not for the reason you might expect. Some were just angry their favorite new character was removed, but most saw this as Clay caving to public demands, out of fear of being cancelled on Twitter. That's something someone actually wrote. Whether or not you believe Warbucks was racist is not something I'm here to argue for, but what I do want to say is that his removal had nothing to do with complaints from the player base. In Joe W's own words, we didn't have a single person actually contact us to complain about Warbucks. None. Not even one. Despite the reason for his removal being clearly stated, some still speculated that the real reason was them folding to White Knight crying babies in Twitter. Early access is treated like a silver bullet to game development, something that can fix glaring issues with the game before it's launched. And while that may be true, sometimes maybe it's better to keep things indoors. Because if Warbucks was removed in an unplayable build, the developers wouldn't have to deal with their community over-analyzing their decision to remove him, nor would they have to deal with pages and pages of community members bickering to each other about who Warbucks was and what he represented. Players were being crappy to each other, and he wasn't so good of a character that it was worth keeping him around. Sometimes, closed betas might be better than public ones. Anyway, let's return to Don't Starve Together.
Here you go, friend.
Clay got sick of losing money through events, so they decided to make actual updates again. In 2019, they introduced Return of Them, a new update line which adds boats to Don't Starve. Which is funny, because Shipwrecked already did this 4 years before. One of the core principles of Don't Starve Together is to not divide the player base. This is why Reign of Giants is free here and not a paid DLC, since it's such a core part of the base game. However, porting over the entirety of Shipwrecked would not only be a massive sink of development time, but would also net them zero money, since they can't sell it as a separate DLC, as that would divide the player base. Which I presume is the reason they began making their own version of the ocean. And I want you to tell me if any of this sounds strangely familiar. The ocean itself is about what you'd expect. You have your sea stacks, an island for new content, and stone fruit which now finally give you a way to mass produce rocks. One unintended consequence of the ocean is that it felt like a side product once it was added. There was the whole game in the center, and then there was this other thing tacked on. Let's see if the next update can fix this problem. It didn't solve anything. It took about 4 months for the next update to release, but it mostly just expanded upon the content in the ocean. Clay must have realized this because their next update focused not on the sea, but on the characters. More specifically, it added a new character. Up until now, everyone was really similar to play, so Clay started doing entire updates to redesign every character, while giving them their own animated short. The forums were extremely active after each animation's release, likely because people like talking about their personal favorite characters more than boring ocean monsters. I don't know how they did this, But by attempting to expand the world of Don't Starve Together, the developers ended up getting themselves in the same situation that the single-player developers were in 6 years prior. They added this big new area that most people didn't care about, promised to add more in subsequent updates, but really all anyone cared about was the new character updates. How does this even happen? Are we stuck in a loop? This is an identical scenario, but replace caves with the ocean. Personally, I think attempting to add the ocean was a major blunder, or at the very least, a major time sink. It's better the way it is in the game now, but back then it was completely empty, aside from rocks everywhere. By adding this ocean-themed arc, Klei essentially dug themselves into a hole, and the only way to fill that hole was to somehow fill this giant map they created. And that endeavor would take them 2 years when the arc finally concluded. Earlier I said that the ruins fixed all the problems with the caves, but I was lying. All the ruins did was make players skip the caves level and go straight to the more interesting area, a process which is still seen in Don't Starve Together, known as ruins rushing. Even now, the majority of the caves is just an empty area that no one visits, so it's sort of shocking to see Klei make the exact same mistake 6 years later with the sea. Then there's the current arc, and the way it's going is very interesting. From Beyond started 3 months ago, and it's taking the game in a fresh direction. Updates in Don't Starve went from being new threats you were forced to overcome to optional boss fights and areas you could go to if you want. The new update somehow adds both. Killing either of the 2 final bosses will add environmental threats that spawn on the surface and in the caves. However, doing so will also grant you the opportunity to craft stronger equipment. So strong that it looks like it came out of Elden Ring or something. What is this? Remember when armor looked like football helmets? Because now they look like Terraria armor sets. Though I suppose that makes sense considering the crossover that happened a year ago. Yeah, this game has the Eye of Cthulhu as a boss now. No, Deerclops is not from Terraria. I'm so mad. Searching up Deerclops, Don't Starve's most iconic boss, puts the Terraria version over the Don't Starve one. This is just sad to see. There's probably some kid out there who thinks cool items like Chester, Abigail, the Pneumatic Horn are stuff Terraria came up with. Back to From Beyond, the new update adds an earth-shattering hazard that is also completely optional, which sounds counterintuitive as hell because, well, why would I willingly make the game harder for myself? This is like if wildfires were an event that the player had to manually trigger and not one that occurred naturally. The point is, Klei has been experimenting with new earth-shattering hazards since they added moonstorms to the game, which is odd because the last time they added any environmental event that could challenge the player was back in 2017 when Antlion was added as a replacement for Dragonfly in the summer. So in a way, this newest arc is actually a return to the original formula that Don't Starve was about. Originally, caves and content similar to it was added as to not confuse new players. No one wants to come back to Don't Starve and find out they added a thirst meter. This is why the caves and ruins were added to challenge experienced players who may want to venture beyond the normal confines of the game. This is the philosophy Don't Starve Together has followed with its raid bosses up until now, because world-changing events are being added again, but this time they are linked to player progression. You kill the Fuel Weaver, Acid Rain, bigger earthquakes and stronger nightmare creatures will spawn. You kill the Celestial Champion and your garden is infested with terrible weeds. Of course, this is all speculation on my part. I don't know what the developers are planning or why they are adding it, but if I'm correct, and they are beginning to link player progression to new environmental threats, then this seems like a great direction to take the game in. The game will get harder over time, but the difficulty will scale with how good the player is. The game always got harder over time, but now it gets harder the further you progress. I've seen people complain that the recent updates have destroyed their mega bases. Look at these boulders absolutely wrecking my chests. And I'm sorry, but do you know what game you're playing? I get it though. It's annoying having your base you spent 20,000 days on get demolished with no real way to counter it. The best case scenario is that the game will let you disable this stuff in the world settings, which as of recent updates let you disable pretty much everything in the game. Although this scenario presents an interesting dilemma. If Klei continues to add new destructive elements to their game, situations like this will only become more common. So the developers will have to make a decision. Do they want to let people build cool bases, or do they want the game to have devastating environmental effects? Or perhaps, is there a way to do both of these things without compromising the other? Probably the last one, because that's exactly what they did while I was recording this video. However, big changes to Don't Starve are only going to become more common, because Klei has been doing this to the game since 2019, re-examining old rules from the single player game to see if they still apply in modern Don't Starve Together. You lose your world when you die? No you don't. Food won't grow in winter? Yeah, it does. You are given the option to turn off permadeath in the world settings, and the revamped farming system lets you grow crops in winter. Additionally, the game will now hint at what to do through the tips in the loading screen, which can make the big moment of dying to darkness non-existent, as the local tooltip guide describes how to avoid it. It all sounds very superfluous, like the game has been dumbed down to appeal to a broader audience. But that wouldn't be giving you the full picture. The developers aren't afraid to modify the game to fit a new vision, but at the same time aren't changing things for the sake of changing them. Previously, farming was incredibly expensive for very little reward, making it not matter if seeds grew in winter, because the system sucked as a way to get food, especially considering everything else in the game is a cheap food source that is most likely available all year around. The new farming system is not only vastly cheaper, allowing you to plant over 20 seeds with one farm kit, but also has more mechanical depth. Plants might grow in winter, but certain plants grow better in winter, as do others in different seasons. Crops grow better if you put them beside certain crops that they like, or if you don't care about any of that and just want the food, you can still grow produce without interacting with any of the deeper mechanics. Both are valid ways of playing the game. However, there is now a downside present in not tending to your garden that didn't exist before. At first you'll get a few annoying weeds because you didn't properly take care of your garden, but eventually a full-on boss spawns to punish you for being a terrible farmer. You could make the argument that the new farming system is overall easier than the old one, but I think the more accurate statement would be the new farming system is more usable, interesting, and most importantly, fun than the old one. And yet at the same time, it's also harder than the old system, as you can no longer ignore your plants like you could in single player. You know what other mechanic is useless? The crafting menu itself. This ancient piece of UI was once used to teach players about what they should be doing, but now it's gained so many items that scrolling through the structures tab takes more time than installing Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's play a game. Which tab does the tent go to? Is it A, the survival tab, or B, the structures tab?
Survival.
Did you pick B because it's a placeable structure? Then you'd be wrong. Obviously, it belongs here, the survival tab. Question 2, where does the dark sword belong? Is it A, the fight tab, or B, the magic tab? It's the magic tab. You see the problem here? The recipe sorting system could not have been made more ambiguous. What the hell even is a survival tab? What makes the bug net a survival item and not a tool? So they improved it by sorting tabs to be more clear, making the overall UI more compact, and by adding a search bar. If you really hated this change, then you could always build your own crafting menu, because the game lets you do that. Klei also decided that you shouldn't be able to do this anymore, and instead of just patching it, they completely reworked how the Ancient Guardian works. Before, this guy was literally an upscaled rook with a different texture. But now he is an actual boss fight with unique attacks and weaknesses you can exploit. Another innovation was more controversial. World settings have always been a thing since the first release of Don't Starve, but recently in October of 2022, well, let me just read it for you. Relaxed mode, a more relaxed playstyle with less threats from the world. Survivors will not die from starvation, freezing, overheating, or the darkness. Damage to survivors is reduced. Resurrection is always available at the portal. This is exactly what you think it is. Welcome to easy mode! On one hand, it's your world, your rules. You paid the price for this game, you get to do what you want with it. But on the other hand, you are going against every single uncompromising element from the base game by adding relaxed mode. What is even the point of eating if you literally cannot starve? On top of that, there's a world setting that lets you turn off the timer when you die. You can turn off permadeath. I guess it makes sense. You can't really keep a game hard forever. You can try, but as past examples have shown, that doesn't tend to work in your favor. The best updates either reinvent old mechanics to make them play better, or give the player more control with regards to how they want to play the game. That's not to say you should never add more challenges, like what the developers are doing now, but there needs to be more to it than just wilderness dangers. I like where Don't Starve Together is currently. It's a perfect balance between adding some admittedly exciting content and rethinking old design decisions to make the early game better. I found an interesting article from around the time Don't Starve was released, titled Don't Starve, a life and death struggle in need of a point. This is a lot of people's experience with the game. Yeah, the art is cool, yeah, I die and learn, but what's the point of it? Why am I going through this if there's no light at the end of the tunnel? I've been playing this game for 10 hours and because I died, I have nothing to show for my progress. Single player's answer to this question is that the experience you gained from playing was the point. The experience was what you had to show for playing the game. The fun you personally had and all the solutions that were unique to you are the reason to struggle through it. And if the core gameplay wasn't enough to have fun by itself, then no amount of quests or special badges would change that. By completely deleting all your progress, the game is telling you that
Šta da otvorim? Nemoj mi otvarat ništa. Nemoj se, otvori mi se prozor i otvori mi. Nemoj mi otvarat. Znači, malo vazduha nije, znači, vredno da ja jurim uve ovdje.
Ima linčac.
Ima, probudio sam se u 5, kad se svijetlo upalilo. Mogu otići polako ako hoćeš.
Ne.
Ne.
Volim malo pjati.
Dobro.
the fun you had playing on this world is more valuable than the world itself. However, that's a pretty difficult message to understand if you don't find any enjoyment from being clueless and dying all the time. The sequel makes this more clear without being as unfair. The recently added scrapbook is likely an inspiration from Clay's other game, Oxygen Not Included, which contains this built-in wiki inside the game, so you don't need any outside source to play it. Initially, I believed this would go against the design of learning to do everything by yourself. I mean, the whole reason Don't Starve hates achievements is because they tell the player what to do. But the scrapbook is actually clever with how it's implemented. While it does tell you everything about everything, it won't show you that information unless you experience the event first. For example, the scrapbook won't spoil the Deerclops encounter, but after he does spawn, you can check it to learn some details about him, such as his health and damage. It's genius because it both helps players who might get stuck without directly telling them what to do next. The scrapbook doesn't tell you how to kill Deerclops, but the information provided might help you develop a strategy to do so.
I think you're becoming paranoid.
Maxwell.
We'll have
Yes, this is Maxwell Gaming.
What? Like and subscribe.
Okay, this is a video people have been spamming for me to watch. Like, it's been crazy you guys want me to watch this for such a long time. Now, I am not a Destiny player. I have never played Destiny. I've watched people play Destiny. I have a very basic understanding of Destiny, but that's it.
October 13th, we'll see the return of Test to the Tower. Silver is a new currency coming to Destiny that is bought with real money.
Ooh.
This is the introduction of microtransactions into Destiny, but I've never had a problem with cosmetic microtransactions. A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument. Yes, Dado, we start with shaders, emblems, emotes, but who is to say that they won't introduce materials, armor, or weapons in the future? If we see legendary guns for sale, if we see legendary marks for sale, I'm gonna be mad. If we see something like 100 motes of light for $5, I'm gonna be mad. I don't wanna see power sold, I don't wanna see shortcuts to power sold, nothing. I don't wanna see weapon parts, ammo synths, nothing. If Bungie does cross that line, you have my rage.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Guys, I hate to say it, but now may be the time to start raging. Now I'm going to preface this by saying, no, this is not a joke video. When it comes to greedy corporate monetization practices, to us, this is really not a laughing matter. Those clips you just watched are from a 7-year-old video Dado posted in Destiny 1 about a month after the release of The Taken King, and my god, it has aged like fine wine. Today, we're talking about the state of microtransactions inside of Destiny 2, because over the last several years, and increasingly this past year, we've seen a dramatic increase in monetization for anything and everything Bungie can slap behind a paywall. This includes raising prices, creating new avenues for spending, double dipping into the existing player base, and giving players blatant pay to win benefits. Now here are the timestamps on the screen.
Oh, so it is pay to win. Oh, that sucks. Now it is? That damn, that sucks. Wow.
For each topic covered in this video. This is going to be a long one, so grab your popcorn. And one thing I ask before you leave a comment criticizing or even defending Bungie, please watch this video in its entirety. We're going to cover a lot of ground today because I want all of us here to have a full perspective on how bad microtransactions have become over the past 7 years. And maybe by the end of this video, when all Bungie schemes are on the table, you will share my concern for what this game may look like 7 years in the future.
Account below, free to play.
Now, first off, I want to set the record straight.
Free-to-play games
Destiny
are so
2
expensive.
is not a free-to-play game. It's a free-to-try game. It's very important we are all on the same page here because this is the most common justification for the use of microtransactions across the industry. And the biggest illusion Bungie tries to spin in their marketing. Microtransactions in real free-to-play content makes perfect sense. If you're not paying...
You have to have microtransactions if it's free to play. I mean, how else would you make money?
to purchase the actual software, then the developers are completely justified in generating revenue using other means. Usually, this is just in the form of cosmetic items that players purchase for digital fashion, fun, or even clout. But developers can also use more shady techniques like loot boxes, bonuses, or even additional content to persuade players to spend more money. With that being said, Destiny, even after becoming free-to-play in 2019, has never actually been free-to-play. Matter of fact, Sweatcicle even made a video a couple weeks ago documenting the experience of a free-to-play player in Destiny, which I highly recommend giving a watch. In a nutshell, after completing the introduction quests and missions, free-to-play players can access Strikes, Crucible, Gambits, the Prophecy Dungeon, Vault of Glass, King's Fall, Open World, and Dares of Eternity. On the surface, that actually seems like a decent amount of free content. But
yeah, if I just heard, I guess somebody who didn't play the game, like, that seems like it's a lot of stuff you can do as free-to-play.
But is it actually? Compared to the massive amount of content in Destiny, this is just a fraction of what the majority of players have access to. You don't even get a campaign in free-to-play. You get rituals, quests, and a couple of high-end activities. Let's compare this to some other free-to-play games, shall we? Starting with arguably the most popular free-to-play game, Fortnite. There are plenty of microtransactions in Fortnite, but all of them are strictly for cosmetics. Even the seasonal battle pass, which you can pay for, is earnable via just playing the game. Granted, that would take a while. The free version of the battle pass gives you V-Bucks that you can save up to buy the paid version. And as long as you play enough to complete the battle pass each season, you can earn enough to repurchase it again next season. 100% completely free. There's even some currency left over you can choose to save or even spend in the shop.
I feel like most people are positive about the Fortnite battle passes.
If you want to buy some cosmetics. Next up, we have Warframe. Yes, I know comparing Destiny and Warframe is kind of a touchy subject, but Warframe is also a free-to-play game. The Nightweave Battle Pass is completely free. The updates are free, and you can earn the paid currency in the game's player-driven market. So it too is essentially free. Now, these are just two prime examples, and I could dive into more, but I think you get the point. These games grant you access to all the actual gameplay content for free. In Destiny, you get maybe 10% of the content for free, which means this is not exactly free to play. That's a free trial. Destiny is by no means the first to do it though. Remember the light versions of apps back in the early days of iPhone?
It's like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy. You can play part of the game free to play, but you have to pay for the other part.
Every major game had a free light version, essentially a demo. Angry Birds Lite, Minecraft Lite, Light Bike Lite. I don't have a problem with free trials, but free trial and free to play have been commingled so much that players can't differentiate between the two. Another common trait of free trials is that they're full of ads. As a new Light player, the number of pop-ups you receive in game telling you to buy more content is ludicrous. Don't be fooled.
Wait, are all of these like
you receive in game?
Do you actually go through every single one of these ads? Oh my god, this is like watching Twitch.
Telling you to buy more content is ludicrous. Don't be fooled. Bungie offers a free trial of Destiny 2, and if you want to play the full version, you have to pay money. Lots and lots of money. Now, Destiny 2 has a lot of paid content.
By the way, I like my personal perspective on this is that if you buy a game once, if you're getting content after that game comes out, like continuously developed content, like a live service content, I think it's fair for a game to charge microtransactions at that point because it's being developed beyond what the thing that you bought was. I think that's very fair. However, I think that having like a subscription and also having microtransactions is a bit much, kind of like how WoW and Final Fantasy have. But at the end of the day, I don't really mind microtransactions as long as they don't affect gameplay. I do mind them, but they're not a, like, I realize that like my perspective on that is like very, very niche. Like, I don't think most people care. And I also can, in my mind, pay to win and pay for convenience are the same thing. Because whenever you make a game pay for convenience, the game becomes inconvenient. And then the people that don't play with the convenience measures that they pay for are playing the game at a disadvantage.
But quite frankly, it's confusing as hell. You got the Lightfall plus Annual Pass, or Lightfall by itself, the Legacy Collection, which includes Witch Queen, Beyond Light, and Shadowkeep, the 30th Anniversary Pack, Witch Queen, Beyond Light separately, as well as Shadowkeep separately, the Forsaken Pack, and the Armory Collection, which includes both Forsaken and the 30th Anniversary Pack. There's
That's a lot of things to buy. People also said with PoE, I'm making an exception for PoE. I don't really think that PoE is that much pay to win. I think you can make a dictionary definition argument that PoE is pay to win, but I think in doing so you dilute the term. So, like, the reason why I don't think that PoE is pay to win is because, in the same way that these other games are, is that they are one-time payments, and the sum of those one-time payments is equivalent to effectively a new game. So I don't find it to be a problem. Because with the other pay for convenience features, they're like, skip your daily today, and you can do that every day. With PoE, you don't need to buy a new currency stash tab every day.
Many different bundles for old content. And quite frankly, this is absurd. I have so many people that come into the stream that ask, which one do I buy? And quite frankly, how in the hell is someone new to the game supposed to navigate all of this? Now here's a novel idea. Why don't Bungie just bundle everything? Literally, just the everything bundle. All content through the year of Lightfall, or the Lightfall plus annual pass, or the legacy content bundle, which includes all those old things that tends to confuse the piss out.
This is a problem that World of Warcraft used to have, that you had to buy all the expansions. They absolutely should condense this.
Everyone. Now, if you need to itemize old expansions for players who want to purchase a single piece of content, that's fine. But even this list is already so much simpler than what Bungie already offers. Then you may be asking, why does this not exist already? Spoiler alerts, there's no singular bundle for all of old Destiny content because Bungie refuses to improve the new player experience.
And this is just going to kill the game. Because eventually nobody wants to have to spend $25. This is like, what the fuck is this? This is awful for new players. Yeah, it's like, I see this, and I immediately am like, oh, I don't want to play Destiny. This is stupid. And it's not even about the money. It's about the annoyance of it. It's just fucking annoying.
For the sake of decreased revenue. If they care more about the player base and the extra cash, they would bundle all the old content under one single legacy content bundle.
Which is what World of Warcraft did.
Nickel and diming new players. Now, why is the Forsaken
Roblox
pack,
for
a
no
bundle
reason.
containing a raid, a dungeon, and some exotic weapons and armor still even a thing? It also used to contain 9 supers for each light subclass as well. And those were added into free-to-play because locking supers behind paywalls was stupid. And what remains is what new players are still paying for. Now, why was the 30th anniversary update even a separate paid add-on in the first place? Remember when Bungie updated the game with cool
I would shit on them for that, but Blizzard did the same thing with the 20th anniversary or 15th, whatever it was, anniversary. It's like, let's celebrate our anniversary by having you give us more money.
Content for free. Some new players might not remember, but the April update in Destiny 1 was a free update to the game that increased light level, added a new story mission, quests, revamps of old strikes, updates to the Prison of Elders, chroma gear for custom armor glows, a new taken set of armor, reprised exotics, and legendary weapons. All of this for free. It was like a mini expansion that we got as a gift from Bungie. Fast forward a year ago, if you didn't pre-order the deluxe edition of Witch Queen, you had to dish out $25 to get access to things like the Grasp of Avarice dungeon, Galahorn, and a bunch of cosmetics. Yes, there were parts of this update that were free, like Dares of Eternity, which is a completely new activity, and I understand that a lot of developer work went into creating.
Dude, this is like, I feel like whenever he's explaining like how you have to buy this stuff, it's like somebody explaining like how a currency system works in a gacha game. Well, so, okay, so you have, like, the credits, and then so you have the credits, and then you can use the credits to upgrade your character, but you also need the upgrade tokens that you need for the character, but there's like 3 different levels of the upgrade tokens, so you have to upgrade your characters with, again, the credits and the upgrade tokens, but then there's also the third thing, which is like the items that you need from the home world of those characters, and then those also have 3 different levels, and so you have to level those up, and then also, like, whenever you level those up, so there's a thing that you have to level up whenever you do level up as well, and so you have to use those as well, which costs more credits, and in order to get the credits, you have to do these things called like these you know, different like missions, and then if you want to do the missions more, then you have to buy crystals. But if you don't have crystals, then you can buy crystals with the shards, and so you can buy shards to buy crystals to do the mission, to buy the credits, to use the credits, to buy more credits, to spend the credits, to get the items. Oh, and the items are different for every character, by the way. Yeah, so like if you get items for one character, it doesn't work on the other one.
These. But I bring this up to draw a comparison of how things used to be 7 years ago. The reality is, if the 30th anniversary update was released in Destiny 1, we would have received it completely free.
The taken money. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Now, the 30th anniversary update was also the tipping point that introduced Dungeon Keys to Destiny 2. These have got to be one of the most divisive double-dipping additions to the game ever made. For those of you who don't know, Dungeon Keys were added in the Witch Queen. Bungie releases 2 dungeons each year, and if you don't buy the deluxe edition, that being the expansion plus annual pass, you also have to buy these separately. Both dungeons are sold together for 2,000 silver. This is Bungie's in-game currency, which equates to $20. No longer are dungeons included in seasonal content, which made a lot of us scratch our heads asking
so you have to...
What the hell, Bungie? This only makes paying for content more confusing, and we know it to be a...
This is crazy. I feel like this game has more microtransactions than Tower of Fantasy did. This is nuts. I feel like, you know, the reason why I didn't play Final Fantasy 14 for like a month is because I couldn't figure out how to buy the game. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. Like, it's complicated. I think I bought 2 versions of it. I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, why are they doing this? Like, it's so weird.
Fact from first-hand experience.
They
One of
need
our
to fund
part-time
Marathon?
editors
True.
bought Season of the Deep to play the dungeon and didn't realize Ghost of the Deep was not in.
So you need to buy. So you buy the expansion. So it's like you're paying for cover at a club, so you can go inside of the club and pay $17 for shots. Well, actually, I guess in this case it's 20. Holy fuck, man!
Included in Season of the Deep,
CLM?
meaning
Yeah, for
he had to
real.
go buy the dungeon key after buying the season to play what he actually wanted to
Oh
play.
my
If one of us
God.
can make that mistake, how much easier is it for a new player who has never played Destiny to make
Yeah.
that mistake as well? The title for the dungeon trailer on YouTube even suggests that it's included with the Season of the Deep. You will only find out otherwise if you read through Bungie's website, or visit the activity directly, or visit the last page in the Eververse store, which we know a decent portion of new players will not know how to do.
Yeah, how is a new player gonna understand this at all? This is awful. No return on investment.
Okay, so dungeons no longer ship alongside seasonal content. Surely the price of seasons deserve to be lower, right? No.
How could I have ever predicted such a dramatic change in events?
Bungie raised the price of seasonal content. If you want to buy a season by itself, it used to cost only $10. And honestly, for 6 weeks of story, some cool cutscenes, access to the multiplayer activities and new gear, I would have argued that it was a great deal. But then, Bungie increased the price. And you know what? Fair enough. Adjust for inflation, gotta put food on the table. It makes sense. Bungie announced in a tweet they were increasing the price of seasons from 1,000 silver to 1,200 silver, which puts us at $10 a season to now 12.
And I think that would be fine, but like, how many of the, like, yes, things go up in price over time. That's life. Every game exists in this in this world, right? But like, damn, just wait. Okay.
$10 per season, or does it? You see, when you buy silver, Bungie gives you a little extra for each purchase, and the bigger the purchase, the more extra you get. So when you buy $10 worth of silver, that being 1,000, you actually get 1,100 silver. That's so generous of them. Funny how that works too, because that's just short of the amount needed to buy a new expansion. So to buy an individual season, you need to purchase $15 worth of silver, not 12. Meaning Bungie actually raised the price.
It's 1,200, but you only get 1,100. That's clever. That's really clever. Damn. That's a good, bro, they really got him with this one, huh? That's smart.
You need to purchase $15 worth of silver,
Yeah.
not 12. Meaning Bungie
Right.
actually raised the price
By
by
50%.
$5. Because you can't buy seasons with real money. You have to buy them with Bungie's tokens. They're fake money. Now I'm surprised too.
Wait, so you can't just buy them? You can't just buy them on the store? So you have to buy them with their currency, but the currency model is set up in a way Oh, that is so cute. Oh, wow. That is something special. That, guys, you know, there's a certain part of my, that, like, whenever I hear that, I'm impressed. That's clever. You really got him that time, you know?
How cluttered the Steam store is already with
You're really
expansions,
getting 'em.
which, by the way, you can buy with real money.
Wait, somebody says this isn't even their final form. Look at this. What the fuck is this? Oh my god.
Why not just add each season there too? Make an annual season pack? Hell, folks are already confused. You might as well add it. Something tells me we won't ever see a $12 silver purchase option
I
anytime
bet.
soon. Luckily,
Yeah.
Bungie added the $15 option right before Season of D, and even created a $100 silver purchase option too. So if you want to bankroll their pockets even more, that's
Yeah, you just spend $100. That way you can buy the next 10 dungeons, and you can save money by spending $100 now.
a lot easier for you. And
But the funny thing is, probably by the time that 10th dungeon comes out, they'll have increased the price again, so you've got to spend another $100. And then you just repeat the process. Oh, it's only 5, excuse me.
Guess what? You thought a $5 increase was bad? Let's take a trip down to the Microsoft and Epic Game Store, where there is no $15 silver option. The next highest is $20. You're now paying Bungie double the price for a new season. Guys, that's just borderline evil. Thankfully, any players who use these platforms are not completely screwed. Bungie does offer a $15 seasonal silver bundle as well, but not only is it separate from the other silver purchase options, it also doesn't advertise how much silver it gives. You actually have to click into it to see how much silver you are buying. But hey, it comes with the free emotes. Am I right? I do want to be clear. I'm not against silver existing or people buying silver. I've bought plenty of silver. I'll even meet Bungie halfway. I'm not against paying $12 for a season, but it's these shady, scummy, underhanded tactics that Bungie keeps using that pisses me off. Bungie, if you're gonna raise the price of a season to $15, at least have the balls to just tell us straight. I shouldn't need to perform mental gymnastics to decipher a
Yeah, I feel like if they just said it's 15 bucks now, I think it's worse that they said it's 12, but you can only buy 11 or 15. Because they could have just been like, yeah, it's 15 bucks now. It is what it is. Inflation's a bitch. Fuck Brandon. Like, and like everybody be like, ah, you know, whatever. But like, it's like they think you're stupid, you know?
Change in pricing structure like it's a day one raid encounter. It's not the price increase that rubs me wrong. It's how Bungie intentionally designed it to siphon more money while deceiving the community into thinking it was less.
Right. Cache of Osiris. Wait, wasn't that one of the raids?
All right, this whole video has been pretty tame up until now. That's all going to change when we talk about seasonal events and event cards. Event cards are the singular worst paid item ever added to Destiny.
Oh no, I played Lost Ark, bro. Like, this shit's already giving me PTSD.
Last year, Bungie had the idea to add event cards to Destiny. These are filled with event challenges that grant you materials, event cosmetics, weapons, etc. This card was introduced as Bungie's solution to simplify in-game events, making it easier for players to reference what they needed to do to earn more.
Oh my god, bro, like this game, like, am I just, like, is it just me or does...
Oh yeah. Mushrooms. Oh wow. Potatoes. That's the problem. looks the same. So let's see. That's a lot of mushrooms. That's a bit unfortunate.
Does playing this game Like, I feel like I want to lay down. Like, this is complicated. Like, just to be able to play the video game.
Rewards and complete
tired,
the
man.
event time.
I'm
Their
tired,
solution:
boss.
plaster a giant pay
tired,
to unlock
boss.
button on the front of the event card to earn more rewards. You
Oh
heard me
my
right.
God.
You have to pay 1,000 silver, $10, for the privilege of completing challenges so you can earn these extra rewards.
Oh
It's
my
essentially
God.
a mini battle pass that is already inside.
Yo, dog. We put a battle pass inside your battle pass so you can work on the battle pass while you do your battle pass. What is this?
Of a seasonal battle pass model. If you don't complete the challenges, you don't get any rewards. And even worse, players often don't know that it only gives you 4 cosmetics. All the others on the card are free. This microtransaction is positioned strategically where all players interact with event challenges, because if you don't buy it immediately, Bungie wants you to stare at it for 3 weeks while you finish all your other challenges, slowly seducing you to part with $10 for a couple extra cosmetics.
Jesus.
But Cross, it's only cosmetics. What's the big deal? That is the big deal. Events in Destiny 2 are only about cosmetics, and over 90% of the cosmetics you have to pay for. Surprise! Just like dungeons, seasonal events are not included in your seasonal pass.
I mean, I don't give a fuck about the cosmetic, like this stuff like that. It's dumb, but like, that's not what's gonna make me quit a game. I mean, god damn, man.
Purchase. You want to know why everyone thinks events are boring? It's because they are rehashed every year, and they revolve around spending money. Every new armor set, $10. New emotes, $10. Ghost shells, ghost projections, finishers, the list goes on. Money, money, money. It's so bad that Festival of the Lost has eternally been dubbed Festival of the Costs. Why would I want to participate in events where I get one gun and have nothing else meaningful to work towards? Normally, I have zero problem with paying for cosmetics, because cosmetics are just the extra cherry on top. I already pay for my content, and if I want to spend a little more, that's my choice. The problem with
whatever, who
events
cares?
is the cosmetics are the content. It's all over the marketing. It's in the silver shop. It's on.
Don't people, like, this is what happened with WoW, right? Is like, I feel like once a game has so many cosmetics in it, it just kind of loses its, like there's like 5,000 cosmetics. What's 5,001? It's like a diminishing return.
My event
It's
challenge
diluted.
card. Events became unfun a long time ago because the content came second to the cosmetics. Yes, it is possible for cosmetic microtransactions to ruin video games. Just look at Halo Infinite. Part of the reason why it was received so poorly, beside the lack of co-op and mediocre campaign, was because all avenues of customization were locked behind paywalls. This was always one.
Remember back in the day, whenever you saw somebody with the Hayubasa armor, remember that shit? Oh my god, back in Halo 3. Oh man, that was a big dick set of gear. You knew it.
One of Halo's greatest strengths. The Master Chief Collection on Steam still has free live service seasonal content. You purchase the game once, get to play some of the best games ever made by Bungie and 343, and visual progression is alive and well, unhindered by microtransaction hell. Best $40 I've ever spent. Even less when it goes on sale. Events have become just another way, though, to squeeze more money and double dip into the player base in preparation for the next season, and it just keeps getting worse. Is Bungie in the moral wrong for promoting more cosmetics during an event? No. Do I have the right to call events in Destiny boring and being mid as hell? Because there is little to no loot tied to them that you can actually earn. Yes, we do have that right. And because events are quote-unquote free to all players, there is zero monetary incentive for Bungie to spend time on anything more than creating the most attractive Destiny shopping mall for 3 weeks. I would love for Bungie to prove me wrong on
Yeah,
this.
that's what the issue is that whenever everything is built around the cosmetics, it's like the game is designed in a way to make you look at cosmetics. That's it. It's like the game is like a fucking, everything in the game is like a bunch of neon arrows pointing at cosmetics.
Because I like the idea of events. They're supposed to be fun, but there's nothing fun to do during those 3 weeks unless you like spending more money. The way you fix events in Destiny is by investing in the player experience. Supremacy
So
during
that's not gonna
Guardian games is a great first step, but that existed as a base game mode in Destiny 1. So we really can't give brownie points here for something Bungie gave back to us from 6 years ago. Provide players who don't want to spend money, meaningful gameplay, or rewards for their time, and then we'll revisit this topic. Now this next gripe is more of a PSA. Do I have anything against paid cosmetics existing in Destiny? No. However, I don't know if you...
I wish they weren't. Like, I wish you could just buy a fucking game. Like Elden Ring, you just buy the fucking game, that's it.
Been paying attention, but the cost for everything in Eververse store is insane. $15 per armor set.
So it's a 1-to-1, right? So this is 15 bucks? Yeah, this is a lot of fucking money.
Exotic emotes can get as high as $12 each. Exotic ornaments, $6 each. And this all adds up very quickly, especially if you want to get one thing per character. The most recent price hike we've seen has been the collaboration armor sets. These started with the Epic Games collab during Season of the Plunder and have stayed consistent with every collab since. Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, because like now Overwatch is doing the mythic skins as well. So like now it's not enough for there to be a battle pass. Now there has to be a premium battle pass and a super premium battle pass. And now it's not enough for there to be a skin. There has to be legendary skins and mythic skins.
PlayStation. All of these armor sets cost 2,000 silver each. That's $20 for one set of armor. All of Destiny 1's, DLCs included, was on
Diablo 4 is 25.
Sale for just $20 just a few weeks ago. There's no universe where you can convince me that 3 armor sets cost $60 total, one for each class, by the way, and somehow that is worth the same price as a AAA game. Now, will people buy them?
That's why they do this. Because, like, think about it. You put in 1% of the effort, and you get the exact same amount of money.
Obviously, yes. Will Bungie make lots of money? Yeah. Are we getting ripped off? You damn right. This isn't just Bungie doing this stuff. This is basically industry standard. In-game cosmetics are beyond expensive. It's your money, so spend it how you deem fit. But I figured while we're on the subject, I should make you doubly aware that everything in Eververse is very expensive and, dare I say,
How much money would it take to buy every single thing in the Bungie store for Destiny? Right now, if you went into it, what would be the amount of money? $8,000. More? 10 to 15K. Holy fuck.
dramatically overpriced. Now, Bungie is constantly devising methods to make you spend more money in-game, whether you're a hardcore player or even free-to-play. The constant scheming never ends. In addition to everything we've previously mentioned, this season, Bungie added an Eververse recommended tab to the store, so you can find offers made just for you more easily. Earlier this year, Bungie added the ability—
Diablo has this too.
To purchase weapon ornaments on actual weapons in-game. Now, I will admit, this is convenient if you want to view what your flashy exotic would look like with the new paint job. But this is also an obvious play to reduce the distance between the player and the purchase button. You cannot preview armor or—
Can you get cool cosmetics from like beating the raids in this game though? That are like equivalent to how cool this stuff is? Okay, well that's fine.
With shaders before you buy them. You have to purchase the armor, then you can see if that matches your look. If any of you remember, shaders used to cost 40 Bright Dust from Eververse. And if you're unfamiliar with Bright Dust, it's an in-game currency that you can't buy, but you can only spend on specific items in the Eververse store. It's designed to keep players engaged with the store, even if they haven't spent any money, in the hopes that they will spend money.
Yeah, this is a super popular thing that a lot of games do. Is they have a free-to-play currency that you can only use on the store function. That way people get into the habit of going to the store. Lost Ark does this with Una's shop. It's a really good idea. Or Mary's shop, sorry.
In the future. Anyway, Bungie raised the price of shaders from 40 to 300 Bright Dust, solely because they wanted to. Just another sink for Bright Dust, so you have less free money for armor, emotes, or anything else you want to buy. And they've also started locking shaders behind paid bundles too. And normally shaders would be frequently available for Bright Dust at the beginning of each season. Guys, it has been barely 3 weeks since the Season of the Deep launch at the time of this video, and no new shaders have been sold. Now, if you like ghost projections, don't take offense to what I'm about to say, but I'm of the opinion that these cosmetics solely exist to inflate the Bright Ingram loophole. You could also make the argument that this is why Bungie makes so many cosmetics to begin with. Every new season, there are at least 9 new ships, sparrows, and ghosts. These are all sold in the Eververse store each season, but a majority of players will never see or want them. I wish I could tell you how many emotes and ghost projections exist in the game as of this moment, but Bungie does not put these items in player collections. Maybe someone with access to the API might know, but your average average player has no clue. Inflating the Bright Ingram loot pool means every...
Oh, so Bright Ingrams are like a thing that you use to do rolls, and then because there's more things in the roll possibility, the chance of you getting what you want is lower. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah. Oh, we've seen that before.
time you level up enough to earn a Bright Ingram, you have to turn it in at the Eververse store and you get nothing of value, further encouraging players to spend to acquire coveted cosmetics. Now, if you're a New Light player, when you visit Shao-Han to pick up your first quests and bounties, you are greeted with an exotic in his inventory, except you can't collect this exotic. It's a short quest that you can only pick up after buying the most recent expansion. This year, it's Arbalest and requires you to buy Linefall. Last year, it was Sweet Business and required you to buy the Witch Queen. No idea if Bungie removes these weapons from the loot pool for New Lights or just pretends like they are part of the new expansion content, even though both of these weapons clearly belong in free-to-play given their age. Either way, shame on you, Bungie. Not only is this baiting players who haven't even played the game yet to spend money on an expansion, but you're doing it with content that has no business being tied to these new expansions.
I don't really know about that. I don't know enough about the game to know if that's like a good thing or not, but I'll take his word for it. Profit fall.
Now, what if I told you Destiny has now approached pay to win? Now, some of you may say that will never happen. Others of you may say it happened a long time ago. However, this season, definitively without a shadow of a doubt, has now pushed Destiny 2 into pay to win territory.
Really?
Let me explain. In the past, we've brought up issues like character boosting. Essentially, you can pay $20 to skip the Destiny campaign and start unlocking your subclass and getting a head start on other content. I would make the argument that this is pay to win. In fact,
I don't really care about boosts. Obviously, if you want to look at it from a technical perspective, they are pay to win. However, I only really care about pay to win at in-game.
we have made that argument in the past, and at the time it was a pretty controversial subject.
Yeah.
Another hot topic is expansion pre-order early exotic access. If you bought the Lightfall Deluxe Edition early, you unlocked Quicksilver Storm months before the Lightfall expansion was even released. People who bought the base version of Lightfall had to wait until Season the Deep to use this exotic, which is literally over half a year total in waiting. Now,
wait, so you're spending money to buy a gun that you can't use? Wait a second, am I understanding this? No, you could use it. Of course you could use it. And let me guess. The new weapons are really good, right? You know how Luocha and Honkai Star Rail just completely power creeps the other healers? That's crazy.
and we thought that the weapon was pretty good in PvP. We called it pay to win. More people agreed, but yet again, controversial. The problem is, many people are reluctant to call Destiny a pay to win game. This hesitancy stems from one question. What is considered winning in Destiny? If you don't know what...
I mean, this is my perspective, right? Is like, if you can spend money and get a weapon early, and that weapon is better in certain situations, then it's pay to win. Obviously. Like, if you are a carpenter and you have a saw and a drill, you have an advantage over a person who only has a saw. How is this hard to understand?
Winning even means, then can you even win in Destiny? Let's try and break it down. What if we
Seems like you can lose. I'll see that.
Define winning in Destiny as achieving certain in-game goals, going flawless, completing a dungeon, raid, or nightfall. All of these could be considered winning because they are difficult challenges, and they reward the players who complete them with great loot. Actually, I believe we just found our answer. Winning in Destiny 2 means getting great loot.
Winning in Destiny 2 is completely dependent on who you're talking to. But let's not muddy the waters. You're spending money and your character has a better tool to solve problems in the game. So if you weren't winning, maybe this item would make it easier for you to win.
Whether it's armor or weapons, great loot is the reason why people play this game. Strip everything else away, at its core, people play Destiny so they can earn loot and use that loot to complete harder content. Or enhance the content they already play, earning more great loot in the process. Owning better loot objectively gives you an advantage over other players in game. Need I mention the Immortal in Trials of Osiris or Gjallarhorn at multiple points in Destiny Sandbox? That's why it's called a looter shooter. Loot isn't everything Destiny has to offer, but it affects every aspect of the gameplay experience. With that in mind, we can now assign a definition of pay to win in Destiny 2.
You're never gonna win with this, because there's a lot of people who don't view being able to beat bosses. There are people who think that Lost Ark is not pay to win because you can get knocked off the edge on Vulcan.
Destiny 2 is pay to win when an unfair advantage in obtaining great loot is only accessible to players who spend more money than what is essential to play Destiny 2. If you have a better definition, I would love to read your suggestions in the comments below. But as of this moment, I believe this statement encapsulates pay to win in the context.
Pay to win is anything that makes your character more powerful or more effective in the game. It's that simple. Does it make your character more powerful or more effective in the game? Then it's pay to win. It's that simple.
Of Destiny 2 or any looter shooter quite well. All right, Cross, we get it. What's your point? Over the years, Bungie has been inching closer and closer to this pay-to-win line. And as of Season 21, Season of the Deep, they finally crossed it. Bungie opened the floodgates and are now allowing people to buy max
DTD,
rank
a new
for
vote
the
has
entire
started.
Season Pass on day 1 of the new season. And you may be thinking, really, Cross? The Season Pass is not even pay-to-win. Is that right? Let's take a look, shall we? What does the Destiny Season Pass actually contain? Emotes? Shaders? Ornaments? What about XP bonuses? In-game materials? More weapon drops? Yeah, you can get those. Progression boosts? Season...
But whenever I said this about New World, everybody called me crazy. Yep, this is exactly what they did with New World.
The passes got him, fellas. Exotics, God Roll legendary weapons, every single one of those is available from the Season Pass, and every single one of these you can buy immediately for $100 at the beginning of a season. It didn't always used to be this way. Years ago, you couldn't even buy levels in the Season Pass. But then in Season Undying, Bungie had a change of heart. You can now buy them, but it has to be at the end of the season. Bungie called it a catch-up mechanic, so no one would...
We know that sometimes life gets in the way, and you just want the last few rewards. So instead of just giving them to you, you're gonna have to pay for them.
This out if life got in the way. And it was from that moment the downward spiral
DTD
began.
voting
Soon
is complete and the viewers have chosen Wolf
Then
Attack.
3 weeks into the season. Now years later, it's available day 1 of a new season. Quite the catch-up mechanic. You only have 3 months to complete the Season Pass. Better buy the ranks now before they're gone. Good news, the bundle Bungie sells for the first Season Pass plus first 10 ranks also went up in price. And even better news, they'll be evaluating...
Oh my god. Oh.
New approaches to post-launch content in the year of Final Shape, which is corporate code for another price increase to $15 next year. It all makes sense now. Why do you think Bungie added that $100 silver purchase option in Steam while simultaneously offering a new fully ranked Season Pass for $100? Seems awfully convenient that both these new features shipped at the same time. You know what else is strangely convenient? Deep Sight activation. For those of you who are unaware, Deep Sight is used to grant patterns for crafted weapons in Destiny. Once you've earned 5 deep sights for a specific weapon, you can craft the perfect roll of said weapon. It is literally the loot in-game of Destiny 2. Perfect weapons with perfect rolls that takes lots of time to get. Deep sight activation is the ability to apply deep sight to a weapon that didn't drop with the weapon initially. This new quality of life feature was teased earlier this year and was beyond exciting because this would have been a very useful avenue for newer returning players to earn old craftable weapons that no longer drop in the roll loot pool. Imagine our dismay when Bungie announced that the new Deep Sight Harmonizer material that is used to apply Deep Sight is only available on the Season Pass. I got
it. That's really something. Man, this game looks fun.
the free track and 3 from the pay track. 6 total per season. If you want to know the math behind that, if you're new to the game, earning every weapon that no longer drops with
DTD new
deep
actions
sights
are
will take you
available
24
spawn demo.
seasons to get them all. We haven't even had 24 seasons in Destiny's lifespan. Now there is no method to earn these materials in game. All you can do is wait for Bungie to drip feed you with XP. Unless you don't have to wait. Let's say you want that God roll targeted redaction or that crafted Apex Predator right now. All you need to do is spend some silver. And just like that, you have enough deep sight to instantly craft any weapon you like. Sure, you have to get it to actually drop, but that's not a problem when you can focus all the seasons.
So, just so I understand, you can expedite getting these pieces of gear by buying levels of your battle pass that will give you the items that allow you to craft these things that give you god rolls for your weapons. Guys, I think that's kind of bad. Yeah.
Weapons at the helm and farm last switch weapons for a few hours. Purchasing Deep Sight application allows you to completely bypass the craftable weapon loot grind for any crafted weapon you want. And you know what's crazy? Bungie pulled this exact same stunt with Armor Transmog. If you want to customize your armor, it was going to be limited and extremely complicated to earn. Oh, but also you could just buy it from the Eververse store. Of course, people were angry, but Bungie was still always safe because at the end of the day, it was only cosmetic. It can't be pay to win. Deep Sight application is anything but cosmetic. This new feature is now being weaponized by Bungie to implement pay-to-win mechanics into the season pass.
Oh yeah, they definitely put it into the season pass, and then they put in expediting the season pass, so people are compelled to do that.
Some of you may be thinking I'm overreacting. Let's listen to that data video just one more time.
A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument. Yes, Dado, we start with shaders, emblems, emotes, but who is to say that they won't introduce materials, armor, or weapons in the future? If we see legendary guns for sale, if we see legendary rolls for
he's
sale,
taking it all the way.
hell, I'm gonna be mad. If we see something like 100 motes of light for $5, I'm gonna be mad. I don't want to see power sold, I don't want to see shortcuts to power sold, nothing. And as long as Bungie does not cross the line of cosmetic items, I think we'll be fine. If Bungie does
well, they crossed the line. They did.
Cross that line, you have my rage.
It doesn't matter if Deep Sight harmonizers aren't...
Was that guy mad about this? Was he mad? Not really. He quit.
Purchasable from the Eververse store. It doesn't matter if in-game materials, XP bonuses, exotic ciphers, or progression boosts are contained within the vehicle we call the Season Pass, you can still purchase them. The lie Bungie tries to tell us is that these rewards are available to everyone. Therefore, purchasing it early is of no consequence. All of the Deep Sight harmonizers are beyond rank 50 in the Season Pass. 99.9% of the player base will not reach those ranks for weeks, if not months. But if you have money, you can just access more loots, more rewards, more craftable god roll weapons for little to no work.
They wouldn't have the features in the game to spend money on them if people weren't spending money on them.
Immortal have been craftable this season. Everyone would have lost their minds. Just imagine if you could essentially buy a perfect PvP weapon and terrorize the Crucible with it for weeks or months with
Diablo Immortal.
Little to no competition. All hell would have broken loose. This doomsday scenario is not only possible, but now it is incredibly likely. If this isn't pay to win, fellas, I don't know what is.
It is. It's obviously pay to win. Now, obviously, I bet the reason why a lot of people don't care about it is that they already have these things and these pieces of gear already. So it just gives newer players a way to catch up. So it doesn't affect the existing player base. Am I about right with this? Isn't it crazy how, like, I've never played this game, but I already know exactly what's gonna fucking happen? Isn't that, cause like, it's the same every fucking time? That's so sad. It's the same song and dance. Yes, it is. It's like you can open up a gacha screen and you know, you have the limited banner, the limited empowerment item for the banner character, and then you have the standard empowerment item for characters, and then you have the standard banner. Like, every single one is the exact fucking same. Maybe there's like a little bit of bells and whistles, but for the most part, it's all the same. Jesus.
An argument I want to kill in the egg before it gains any traction is that Bungie is charging more money because they are making better content / another game. Don't kid yourself, guys. We know that
I think
Bungie's...
this is great. I hope that Bungie milks these Destiny players for all they're worth and Marathon comes out and it's lit. Because I'm going to play Marathon. I'm going to play that shit like it's 1999 all over again. Yeah, I don't care. That's fine with me. Yeah, milk these bitches for all they're worth.
Team for Destiny has not dramatically increased in size since the Taken King. We also know
They'll
that
never
Bungie
do
is
that to
making a
Marathon,
boatload
right?
of more money than they did back in Destiny 1 because more players and microtransactions exist. Yes, I think the seasonal model is better for Destiny as a live service game. Yes, I believe that microtransactions have their place in Destiny. I'm not even paying extra for seasons. I buy the deluxe edition of the game every year that has zero effect on me. But I am sick and tired of the player base getting nickeled and dimed at every turn. The constant double dipping.
Some of these, by the way, I've really got to give it to this guy with this video. Like, some of these, like, fucking scenes, especially the fucking Morpheus and Agent Smith scene, they're so good. They're so fucking good, man. Yeah, they're so clean. They make such good sense. Yeah. How does other people being nickel and dimed affect them? Well, the reason why it affects him is that he feels like it has a corrosive effect on the entire integrity of the game whenever the majority of everything that you see in the game is just an outcome of a microtransaction rather than an outcome of gameplay. So I think that's probably what the issue is. And then also, like, obviously somebody can just feel like they, like, for example, like with like sponsored streams and stuff like that. If somebody does sponsored streams all the time, the viewer can feel like this is weird, and they're like, well, what the fuck, right? It's like, you know, when are we just going to be able to play the game and just enjoy ourselves without the looming, you know, presence of money, of spending money, of consumerism.
The never-ending increases in prices.
Like, I think that, like, microtransactions, so I don't mean to pause again, I'll go back 5 seconds. What I mean to say is, like, they're almost like immersion breaking. Because, like, whenever you see something that's a microtransaction, it reminds you, hey, I'm playing a video game. Hey, this person spent money.
At every turn. The constant double dipping, the never-ending increases in prices, and confusion for new players. I don't even know why we're surprised. Bungie in their GDC 2022 panel celebrated their 3-step plan for Destiny. After winning back player trust and keeping player retention high, their main focus was once again revenue. We took Bungie's side.
Right. Get it, bro, that's it. You see, and that's what you do in hunting, right? Is you bait the animal, you gain its trust, and then you fucking kill it. That's right. The deer comes back, and it's like, alrighty, bitch, I'm ready for you now.
And then, when this controversy was blowing up, because believe it or not, we like it when Bungie's profitable. That's not a bad thing, but the pursuit of more profit.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, like, I actually, like, I mean, I don't really play Destiny, so, like, this, it doesn't affect me. Like, I like Bungie. Because, like, Bungie made Halo 3 and Halo 2. And, like, Marathon was cool, too, back in the day. Like, Austin, my friend Austin had it on his Mac. But, like, so I didn't really play it myself that much, but, like, I remember seeing it. I thought it was really cool. So, like, yeah, I don't care about this at all. Yeah, I can still be excited about it, but, like, damn, man, like, the people that, like, and I bet that's the way some people feel about Blizzard. They stopped playing WoW and, like, Wrath of the Lich King. They're like, yeah, Blizzard, bro, they're pretty good, huh? Yeah, they really, yeah, I'll play maybe Diablo 4, I hear that one's good.
Profits came with the promise that it would be built off that foundation of player trust. Newsflash, adding pay-to-win mechanics and lying to the community destroys player trust.
Yeah,
I am not going to support a business model that employs these types of marketing strategies. I'm not going to pretend like this is some turning point for Destiny, a point of no return. This is not a crossroad. It's just another step along a very long road that's marching.
Well, let's see if that's actually true. We're going to go ahead, we're going to pull up Destiny 2. Here we go, charts. And so let's see what the player base is over the years. It feels like, the player base is, it goes up a lot for like I'm assuming these like little points or new patches. I feel like it's low right here because like I'm assuming like these are the big patches, right? This is big patch. This is a big patch. This is a big patch. This is a big patch, right? Yeah. Because it's got the little things here. Yeah. I think the worst thing about this is the fact that their low for the recent patch is higher than any low that they've had before then. So, as much as people want to complain about this shit, if you look at the numbers, it's working.
Closer
Isn't
and
that
closer to microtransaction hell. As for
Isn't that
Bungie's
sad?
new game Marathon, why should I give a
Doesn't
damn
this look
about
so good,
Marathon?
dude? I love, like, I'm so glad because, like, I think Valorant has like such an incredible aesthetic. I'm so glad that we have a new game that's like so stylistically interesting, like Marathon. I think it looks fucking incredible.
I'm not paying to play Marathon. I'm paying to play Destiny 2. And as a diverse player who plays PvP and PvE, I thought overall things were decent. But then I listened to a clip from Grenader Jake, who lives and breathes PvP, especially Crouch.
I think what Bungie touches usually turns to gold. Halo, Destiny, I bet you Marathon's gonna kill it. But do you want some real, honest feedback from me too? I think it's absolutely up that Bungie would abandon this game's PvP essentially, which is what they've done. They've made us basically no new maps in like 4 years, yet continue to make us pay hundreds of dollars a year so they can go work on their next baby. It feels like complete bullshit, dude.
It is definitely. Like, and remember what happened, like, remember the last time we defended this? Oh, well, all the development money is going into Overwatch 2, and the PvE is going to be really cool. Remember that?
I feel like Destiny players have the right, especially Destiny PvP players.
And this is what, by the way, Chris Wilson over at Grinding Gear Games has the completely different perspective. And he even said, he's like, listen, if we had stopped development on PoE 1, PoE 2 probably would be out by now. But it would be doing a disservice to the PoE players if we just stopped developing the game they've been playing. And you know what the even funnier thing about that is that that's a free-to-fucking-play game.
Pissed. We're still spending over $100 every year to play this game. They literally abandoned us. And I feel like that's really frustrating.
And this really put things into perspective.
That
Bungie
sucks, man.
abandoned Destiny 2 PvP for their new PvP game. Not only that, but Marathon is also getting all the bells and whistles Destiny players have been asking for.
Yep, as somebody who's just excited about Marathon, didn't play Destiny, sounds fine to me. That sucks, goddamn. Oh, yo, that sucks.
For a very long time.
Yeah.
Dedicated servers, leaderboards, new maps. Only after complaining year
Damn.
after year, buying new expansions and seasons year after year,
Oh,
are PvP
yeah.
players finally getting some attention. More than anything else, it's just sad that this much money has been spent by this many people, and what content do they have to show for it? Almost nothing. Bungie made a promise to make the game better for all players, not just PvE players, all players. Sadly, this isn't the first time Destiny players have been abandoned before. I know a lot of you have never played or don't care about Destiny 1 these days, but 7 years ago, before Silver even existed, the Taken King Collector's Edition was sold, and it included some custom emotes and class items. Back then, these were some of the best looking armor pieces and emotes in the game. Several of our editors were young teens at the time, and being Destiny fans,
Oh, that's
they
cool.
bought the Collector's Edition. Revisiting
Looks
those accounts
badass.
years later, practicing for the Destiny 2 King's Fall raid race, gathering footage for videos and so on, they notice they can't equip their custom Taken King items anymore. Items that they own, items that they paid for, items that Bungie would happily charge them $20 to repurchase years later, are sitting in their inventory, and they can't use them. They aren't the only ones either. Forum posts dating several years back also complained about this exact issue. Bungie hasn't fixed it. Why would they? Repurchasing old content isn't new grounds for Bungie, and paying for content just for it to be unplayable years later isn't a novel concept for them. Bungie doesn't care about their old game. Bungie only cares about their new game, the one that will make them more money, the one that gets the $3.6 billion deals, the one they can use as a vehicle to be as profitable as possible, pay to win or otherwise. That's everything. That's all I got, guys. This isn't a Bungie strike. This isn't me disowning Destiny for the rest of my life. Frankly, that will accomplish nothing. As a wise man,
Well, I said, you know, like you look at the fucking graph. And the graph tells the story that nobody wants to hear. There it is.
once said, every gaming boycott is one 3-minute cinematic from being over. The final
Very fucking true. I mean, look, hey, Have I ever been wrong? No.
Destiny's climax is on the horizon. Microtransactions will not kill Destiny.
That's
Destiny
right.
is not on the verge of collapse. It's in fact the opposite. Destiny is making more money than ever before. It has more players than ever before.
Yeah,
and I
we
love
saw
that.
the
But the terrible truth is, this success gives even more credence to these business practices.
Absolutely.
It affirms greedy behavior. And
It
it
does.
gives Bungie a giant green light to invent new ways to take our money and devalue the player.
Well, it makes them realize that it doesn't matter if you do this because the players will complain, but they'll keep playing.
I remember the days when you walked into a store and bought a game. And now more than ever, I find myself diving into a game and finding a store. A long time ago, when Bungie was beneath the corporate umbrella of Activision, we saw the senseless greed, the half-baked products, and we rejoiced when Bungie went solo. Little
Yeah,
did
I remember that.
we know, we were going out of the frying pan and into the fire. Bungie in some ways is worse than Activision ever was. If you take anything from this video, I want you to think about everything we discussed, all the actions Bungie has taken.
I really wish people would stop being so loyal to companies. Look, bro, like, if the game's good to play it, if it's not, then don't play it. Like, just stop it, man. Like, stop simping.
It's time to
Please stop fucking simping.
Objectively and decide for yourself, where do I draw the line? How far is too far? And remember that, because looking back, we're already well and beyond what we would have tolerated 7 years ago. I imagine 7 years from now into the future, when we have Marathon,
Oh, bro, in 7 years, bro, Marathon, you're gonna be like, you gotta pay like $1 to play every day, and people are gonna be like, oh, it's just like the arcades from back in the day. But, you know, it's like, that's like $1, it's like a quarter then, right? It's like, bro, and then, like, you get into the game, and there's, like, priority queue where you can skip skill-based matchmaking and only play against scrubs and just, like, farm them for content for YouTube videos. It's like a content creator mode where you only get matched up against people that have, like, a really bad kill-death ratio so you can look better at the game. Oh, yeah, dude. Like, I mean, I actually think it would be really funny if you made a game and you intentionally tried to make it as predatory as possible. I wonder how it would do if it had good gameplay. Well, I guess we kind of already know because there's some games that are already like that. But yeah, Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal was a bad game. It was
Who
a
knows?
bad game.
Maybe even
Bro, it
Destiny
was
3.
bad.
I'll ask you again, where did you draw the line? And I'm almost certain Bungie will have stepped over it.
Yep. Where do you draw the line? Does it matter? Does it fucking matter? There's a video right there. I've never watched this guy. His name is Aztec Cross. What a great video. This is so well put together, and I think that he tied everything together, like with that video. This was such a quality video. This was incredible. And you know what's really sad about it? Is that I don't think it's going to affect this chart. Even though 1 million people watched it. Isn't that fucking sad? Sponsored by Starforge 2? Isn't that so great that the company is now big enough that I don't even know who we're sponsoring anymore? I didn't know that. I had no idea. Let me link you guys the video again. Make sure to give it a like. Give it a like. This is great. Yeah, absolutely. And, wow. Of course it won't matter because people are addicted. Yeah, there you go, man. It's just
October
that
13th,
simple.
we'll see the return
And,
of Test
wow,
to the Tower. Silver is a new
I don't even
currency
know what to
coming
say.
to Destiny that is bought with real money.
Jesus Christ. Like,
This
I mean,
is
I think that
the introduction
I'm
of
gonna be honest.
microtransactions into Destiny. But
The
I've never had
worst
a
thing
problem
about
with
all of
cosmetic
this
microtransactions.
is the
a lot
amount of
people
things that you
now
have to
mention
buy.
the slippery slope
Like,
argument.
where's the chart?
Yes,
It's right
Dad.
here,
We
right?
start with shaders,
with
emblems,
yeah,
emotes,
right.
but who is to
it?
say
Let
that
me see
they
if I
won't
can
introduce
see it.
materials, armor,
This is
or weapons in the
crazy,
future?
dude.
If we see legendary guns
Like,
for
what
sale, if we
is
see
this?
legendary marks for sale, I'm gonna be mad. If we see something like 100
$400?
motes of light for $5,
Like, and it's
I'm
not
gonna be
even
mad.
like if
I don't wanna
the
see
game
power sold, I don't
if
wanna
it was
see
just an
shortcuts to
all-in-one
power
box
sold.
and it's
Nothing.
like
I
buy
don't wanna see
all and
weapon
it's
parts,
$414.
ammo
I
synths.
feel like
If
that would
Bungie
be
does
less
cross
offensive
that
to me
line,
than
you
having to buy
have
each
my
individual one that adds up to $400. So it's like
Guys,
not
I hate to
only
say
do
it,
you have to
but
give them
now may be the time.
$400, but it's a
Goodbye for
pain in
now.
the ass to do it. Like, you only need 6 of those? Well, then why are the other ones there? Well, then why are they there? Some of them are dupes of others? Yeah, the only people getting duped are the ones buying both of them then. Oh my god. I just, man. Gaming in the year 2023. Isn't that crazy? Somebody said something stupid, and I'm going to draw attention to it. Somebody said that when was the last good WoW? Legion. Legion was good. The hypocrisy, it's no different to WoW, which you buy and promote other people to buy every expansion. You are a hypocrite. Okay. So again, everybody is entitled to doing a gotcha statement, but it will cost you your account. So if you want a gotcha statement and you want me to reply to your gotcha statement, you can ask it, but it will cost you your account. So now that the blood cost has been paid, let's address this problem. If you refer back earlier to the start of this video, I actually specifically referenced this exact issue. And I said that World of Warcraft had this issue in the past, and the way they solved this issue was by condensing all the expansions together, and then all you needed to buy was the recent expansion. Everybody remembers me saying that, right? And you remember this being a problem as well. So there's actually no hypocrisy at all, and I'm being completely consistent. And the problem that I had with WoW back then has been solved by Blizzard because they have also acknowledged it as a problem. And I think that Destiny is running into that problem now. So there is no hypocrisy. You don't understand what you're saying, and you don't understand what I'm saying either, which is why you lost your account.
I was going to drop this video today anyway, but Crytek finally announced when Update 113 and Tide of Shadows will be coming, and that is Wednesday, June 28th. On to the video. Update 113 is lurking somewhere in the shadows, but still no sight of it yet. Since my last video on the trailer, we've gotten some more confirmations about the weapons we will be seeing with the Tide of Shadows event whenever that comes out. And I wanted to do a roundup of all that stuff, discuss some thoughts on it, and to be honest, bide our time while we continue to wait, because waiting is the hardest part. So we know Tide of Shadows is an event happening this summer, probably soon since we have a trailer for it, and we have several weapons, ammo types, and consumables, we think, coming in that event, confirmed in social media posts and trailers. The first one I want to talk about is the Winfield Slate Riposte. I've seen some people meme on this one already. Finally, the slate will be good in close quarters. Yeah, I get it. Not everyone will like this one, but one added benefit of these bladed variants is you can free up a tool slot for traps, especially for Concertina traps, which I speculated in another video that Concertina is about to be very important for keeping players down, especially when fighting near the water. I really don't play shotguns that much, but it's fun to rock the slate with penny shots sometimes if I don't have any traits, so yeah, I'm all in on this one with the Riposte variant. Especially when it's versus something like the Spectre Bayonet. I much prefer the light attack on the Riposte because it can slash multiple enemies and clear Concertina, and this feels like another knock against the Spectre in my opinion. Next up is the Railroad Hammer, which we saw in that original thumbnail with Rotjaw, and we now know it's a new melee weapon coming soon. The tweet for this one says it will be similar to the Sledgehammer, but it will use less stamina and deal slightly less damage. I assume this will be a medium slot weapon like the Combat Axe, which means it could make some very interesting medium build combos. I'm not sure how widespread its use will be after that, first wave of excitement, but I am looking forward to it. It does make me wish that Crytek would tweak the trait Tomahawk, that's a bunch of T's, to be able to throw this too instead of just weapons found in the world, but maybe that would be like breaking it balance wise. I'm not sure. I just think it would be really cool to throw the Railroad Hammer, but I am looking forward to this one. On to the weapon I am most excited for, and that is the Drilling, and we saw this one in the Tide of Shadows trailer, but we finally got confirmation of it on a social media post. The tweet for this one says the Drilling is combining 2 medium rifle barrels with an underbarrel shotgun, and I'm so excited about that because I've been on this medium ammo love affair for the last couple of months. I'm not sure why, I just can't seem to kick it. And judging by the Tide of Shadows trailer that I mentioned earlier, the Drilling is a full-length 3-slot weapon, so I imagine that underbarrel shotgun will have something close to a medium spread, maybe in the Caldwell or the Slate type of range. I kind of hope they don't give this thing slugs and opt for something like pennies and Flechette or Dragon Breath, but I am totally preparing for them to add slugs because Crytek seems to be drunk on them, and that's true for the Upper Mat 2, which we'll talk about in a second. The fact that this is medium ammo has me very excited though, because most medium ammo kills you will have to plan for a 2-tap unless it's a headshot, and the Drilling seems to specialize in this type of 2-tap situation. I mean, it has 2 barrels, but much like the Caldwell Rival. So just guessing, but I think the follow-up time between those 2 medium shots will be very short, and that's where this weapon will excel in comparison to the other medium weapons we have already. So I'm very excited to get my hands on that one, but we'll just wait and see what ammo types it gets, hoping for FMJ, but who knows at this point. On to the Upper Mat, and I think people are really excited about this one, but the name has also been a little controversial. We'll get into that. So the Upper Mat is a 2-slot pistol, it's long ammo, and it has a shotgun underbarrel. I mean, it's just the LeMat, but it's big. And I'll just read the tweet for you. With increased stopping power and muzzle velocity, this medium slot long ammo pistol brings an extended effective range. Its weight and size prevent it from using fanning. Use with caution. And okay, naming conventions are weird, and they're kind of, all over the place in Hunt Showdown, but it's called the LeMat Mark II Upper Mat. And the problem with that is what are we saying the variant name is? Like with the Caldwell conversion uppercut, the uppercut is the variant. But with this, I guess we're saying that upper is the variant, and it's the Caldwell conversion cut, and it's the Upper Mat and the uppercut. It just doesn't make sense, and it sounds awkward, and that's okay, Crytek. I mean, hey, it's still a new weapon, and in all seriousness, it sounds like a fun addition to the arsenal. I'm glad it's not just another long ammo rifle, and we actually have a clip of this one being fired, so have a listen. And yeah, not a real glimpse of it. It doesn't sound that intimidating, but it does sound like an exciting weapon despite its awful name. And then we have some smaller teases that don't have the official social media post yet. We know the Bomb Lance is getting a new ammo type. I previously suggested it was a frag tip, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong, and I won't point out why, but if you just look at it, I'm pretty sure it's wrong. That's okay. We also have the Incendiary Bolt, or the Hellfire Bolt, or the Dragon Breath Bolt, whatever, no one knows what to call this, for the hand crossbow, but in the trailer it explodes, and I feel like there's an unseen barrel in that trailer, and it's just Dragon Breath, but shooting a barrel by a body. Instead of like launching Hellfire bombs with a hand crossbow, that sounds a little too strong and over-tuned in my opinion. Hopefully it's just Dragon Breath. As much as I would love to launch Hellfires all over the place, I think Dragon Breath is a safe bet. And of course the new Army Swift, which we saw the icon for in the Economy trailer. I also talked about this in the new Army guide because I was trying to get ahead of it. I really wanted to talk about that pistol, and we're pretty sure it's just going to be the new Army but Swifty. No social media post for that one yet. Maybe they're saving that for next week, but we're just going to have to wait. Pretty sure that's coming in this update though. Also, a tease for perhaps deployable toolkits and deployable medkits, and I have a future video topic for those. But said in a few words, I think we're about to have some new options for team play, and I don't mean that in a deceptive Stalker Beetle type of way. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about those more in the future. And that gets you caught up on all the weapons that have been teased. I was pretty sure 113 was going to drop this week and failed to plan otherwise, so here we are. Let me know what weapon you are most excited for, and until the next video, goodbye.
Welcome.
$100 yards. Here we go. Hey guys, Buckskin Dave here. Well, one thing about this rifle is you load, shoot, cock it back, load, shoot. At the time, it was a good military option, and I think that's why a lot of military factions went to this single shot action. But it's a buffalo gun, and is a gun that's fun to shoot at cowboy matches. Remington Rolling Block. It was second in popularity in the Buffalo days. It's my favorite of the single shot action. There we go. Let's go talk about this rifle. Okay, so I call this my Gemmer, and the reason why is it's a rolling block action. However, and this action's a number 5 action again. Your rolling blocks your first rolling blocks were number 1s.
Goodbye for now.
If you get a hold of a number 1 action, favorite rifle. So anyway, that's another option. If you want a black powder cartridge rifle, you can go with a Gemmer style. I call it a Gemmer style. I don't know what it's called. It's a single shot rolling block, is all it is. The difference
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCullum, and I'm here today at RIA with the last and one of the very scarcest versions of the Remington Rolling Block. This is a number 7. This particular one is chambered for 32-20, although the majority of them were actually rimfire calibers. 22 short, 22 long, 22 long rifle, and 25-10 Stevens rimfire. Now the story behind these is these were low production, boutique, and very expensive. And the only reason that Remington really introduced these and made them is because they had a leftover supply of frames from their 1871 pattern rolling block pistols. This had been a small frame version of the Remington Rolling Block for pistol calibers, and it wasn't really very successful. And I should say in this, guys, it was just a pistol, no shoulder stock, short barrel, but it just didn't sell very well. And Remington ended up with a lot of leftover frames. So what do you do with them? Well, the thing you can do with them is turn them into a really nice light target rifle. You can use the small frame as long as you use small cartridges like 22 through 3220. They have this very nice, comfortable pistol grip shape to them because they were originally intended to be a pistol with a pistol's grip. And so you mate that up with a really nice set of aperture tang sights and a nice long barrel, and presto, you have the number 7 rolling block. So let me show you the features up close. They're beautiful guns. Color case hardened receivers, very nice checkered fancy grain wood on there. I mean, yeah, that's just, it's a beautiful little rifle. A little bit of a fancy end cap on the pistol grip. Now for markings, we'll start right here. The serial number is on the bottom tang, and these were serialized in their own unique series, starting at number 300,001, so 300,000 series guns. We have the Remington Arms Company information on top of the barrel. And by the way, these were all half octagon barrels. The standard was a 26-inch barrel. You could get 24 or 28 by special.
Przestań, ty zeskuczasz?
No nie, Jarko. Durno je bidon.
Ima pola bidona, ja sam stavio da se hladi, ali to ne možeš.
Ja, ovaj.
Trajno da se hladi. Idete na pjecu?
A?
Idete na pjecu?
Ej, donesem ovdje.
Pošto je burek?
Ne znam, koliko je 150, 200, čak. Nemam pojma.
Ako budete išli...
Ma uzet ćemo, nemoj da. A jogurt? A ima tamo kiš? Šta ćeš?
Ako ćeš, ti uzmi burek, ja ću te nadzirati.
Šta?
Ako ćeš jogurt uzmeš...
Ne. Šta hoćeš ti?
Burek sa sirom.
Eto. To je jogurt.
Ne. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine.
Request, and a number of them were gotten that way, but they are around up until
with like a hint. I won't give you the sound effect. I can't survive the vampires and Diablo 1, like Diablo 1 art style. Very, very exciting. Let's try this. Oh yeah, look at that shit. Reggie be like, can we conquer it? Yes, we can. Maybe. We might be able to conquer it. I've never beat Vampire Survivors. And it's actually a very difficult game to stream because I don't know. I can't survive the vampires and read the chat at the same time. What is this boomer game? Ronald Freeman, you can fuck right off, buddy, because this is the peak. This is the pinnacle of art right here. Halls of Torment. It's actually a new game, but they're obviously very inspired by Diablo 1. Look at this. Doesn't that feel like RuneScape a little bit? Like your little guy, like this like one color. It's just like 5 pixels. I love it. Great. Diablo, you mean another franchise Blizzard killed? Yeah, they I feel like Diablo 2 was the peak. That was where it was, you know, the best, and then after that it was just all downhill. Diablo 3 was okay, but it really wasn't what I wanted. Anyway, I think like everything, like the art style, even just the sound effects are just so good. Like, you know, just slamming those zombies. Nothing like it. Look at us go! We've leveled up already. I'm going to go. Should I go with attack speed or maybe like critical hit chance? Name feels like a bad CBT session. Oh, that's later. I could never get into Diablo. Nice. Yeah, actually, funny thing about Diablo 1, I was like a kid when that came out, but my dad, like someone at the office told my dad about Diablo, and my dad doesn't play any video games, but he came home and he installed it on the computer.
Šta to zna?
Uvijek dođu u klas i vode dok se nas premi pol sata.
Šta je?
Ajde, ja ti ćemo dobar uzeti burek i vode.
Pa nećete ići na pijacu? bum, bum. Sedition. I think that is. Yes, it is.
Welcome.
Throaty's hearing protector's on. Exit. Sometimes she doesn't.
100 yards. Here we go.
Goodbye for now. Welcome.
Go.
Goodbye for now. Welcome.
Go.
Goodbye for now.
Wow. Takes backs.
Characters for everyone in the family, but Diablo 1, a lot of people don't realize that game was fucking scary. Like if you weren't a gamer and if you were a young child especially, that game was terrifying. So I never got past like the first level. It was brutal. Yeah, it was kind of a Chad move. Someone else commented about the Warhammer video with like a hint. I won't give you a hint, but actually I have the draft is out right now, and I have some friends like looking at it. So the video will probably out. It'll probably be out tomorrow or the next day, so you won't have to wait long. So that'll be cool. My dad just drank and yelled at us. Oh, that's another classic dad move. Yeah, that's a good one. So it's straight to power move. PoE is lots of fun, but PD2 is better. What is PoE? Is that Path of Exile? Diablo 3 was dumbed down like all other good games to make it acceptable to mainstream audiences. Yeah. Yeah, I could never like put my finger on exactly what my gripe was with Diablo 3. It just didn't. I kind of settled on like, oh, it's just not the same, like the nostalgia. It's never as good as you think it is, but is this Diablo? It fucking looks like it did, right? You know? Like even down to the little health globe in the corner. It's beautiful. I really love it. Thank you, Reggie, for the great content. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for watching. Yeah, Path of Exile versus the best mod for Diablo 2 that is still running well. Nice, nice. Diablo 2, so good. The multiplayer was phenomenal. Everything about it was just great. I guess I'll go with range. Look at this. Look at us go. You got a shield? I don't care. I'm naked with a sword. Just absolutely demolishing them. I don't know much about these type of games, but I'll tell you one thing. You have to use every fiber of your being to resist the urge to just run away. You really gotta kite them around in a circle, because otherwise you're gonna be losing potential experience. You gonna play Diablo 4? I don't know. I think I'll probably try it. At some point, but yeah, Blizzard has been just shit in the bed lately. Like they had a real kamikaze year where they were like, let's see if we can nosedive this company to zero with like Warcraft Reforged and like Overwatch and a couple different things. Have you ever played Enter the Gungeon? Yeah, I think I have. Those games fucking stress me out. They do, man. There's a reason why like most games I play have like a pause button, like built in. You know what I mean? What are these little scarabs? Are these Roombas? Landmines? This is frightening. I don't like their erratic movement pattern. It makes them hard to predict. But they are luckily not immune to being hit with a sword. So they're like melting. This is maybe supposed to be a slime, perhaps. Oh, look at that! Just like in Diablo, this guy's got the little the stroke. He's got the blue stroke. You know, he's a special one. Oh, he's very strong, actually. What's your favorite video you've ever made? Ooh, You know, actually,
DTD, a new vote has started.
Interesting relationship with all of the videos that I make that I think are good. That like no one watches them, or well, like people watch them, but like relative. Like I thought that the squirrel video was like kind of a stupid video, which just because of it was you know super simple. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna spawn in squirrels and try to survive. But then that video got like 500,000 views. Fuck. But then like the alcoholic babies video, I thought that like that was one of my favorite videos, and it didn't do as well. So I have a weird relationship with that. But to answer your question, what's my favorite video I've made? Probably the what's it called? Like the chaos video, like Kenshi, but everyone has 1 health. I think there's like an issue with that video of like I'm not sure how to advertise it because it's kind of a weird challenge, but I really enjoyed how that one turned out. Bad Luck Brian was the best. That's a common thing. The stuff you least expect pops off. Yeah, I think so. Oh fuck. And I think a lot of it just comes down to like the stuff that I like is sometimes like the less simple stuff. You know, like the chaos video and the alcoholic babies. It's like there's more.
DTD voting is complete and the viewers have chosen Home Run Derby.
sometimes it's hard to communicate that to potential viewers, so that makes it harder for, like, you know, for you to accumulate views. Alcoholic Babies was the video that made me decide to never comment on one of your videos. I'm glad we can have that relationship with each other. Survive until there are only 26 minutes left. Jesus Christ! Oh fuck! Oh Christ! This happens in Vampire Survivors too. They'll every so often they'll just encase you in a box of them. It's very frightening. There seems to be like something down to the south that it wants me to do. Let me just catch up on the chat. Are you gonna do more Kenshi? Kenshi videos slap. Yeah, man. I'm gonna do more Kenshi. I'm gonna do more RimWorld. You know, the thing is, with a YouTube channel, it's not advisable to just like niche down into one thing. Can you guys hear the game audio, by the way? I don't know if it's too quiet. The 1 HP Kenshi video is written brilliantly. Thank you very much. No, you can't. Barely. Okay, let me help you out there. Maybe something like that's probably a bit better. I suspect that's better. Yeah, cool. Yes. So anyway, the thing with YouTube channel is like I can't just make Kenshi videos, because then the algorithm will basically decide that all I make is Kenshi videos, and if I try to do anything else, then I'm fucked. And you know, Kenshi is a phenomenal game, and it has a lot of like lasting. I don't know. It has a lot of staying power, but no game lasts forever. And if your channel is indelibly linked to a specific game, then you know you're just on a time limit. And aside from that, you know, I have other interests, so it's good to play other things. Have you ever thought about making a Dark Souls video? Yeah. Dark Souls is cool. I don't know. It's not like, it's not the most obvious like step from my current content, but it could happen. I do like Dark Souls. Reminds me of TF2 YouTubers that are just slowly dying. Yeah. I really believe in like this idea of YouTube apotheosis, which is like eventually, you know, if you're good enough, and if you nurture your channel and your community adequately, you can reach this point where like people aren't like watching your videos for the game that you're playing. Like, they're watching your videos for you. And like some people have achieved that. Like, so if you look at Seth Seentak, that's a good example, because he plays games from like 2001, and tons of people watch him because they're interested in Seth. Like, they don't give a fuck about, you know, Age of Empires 1 or whatever he's playing on that specific day. Although that, you know, it is a cool game. There seems to be like a shield or like a piece of wood or something down here. I'm trying to get to it, but it's kind of, I don't know, I'm starting to feel a little hopeless. Didn't Seth play a freaking furry fetish game? Yeah, oh, he's played all kinds of crazy shit. He played a vor game once, and so that's the thing. Like, if I could play a random like $2 vor game and get 1 million views, like, I think that's as close as anyone can come to, like, you know, making it. Oh, we collected Berserker's Rage. Oh, we're faster. Oh, look at us go. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Choose an ability. Okay, cool. So this is like an ability scroll. And this is also an opportunity for me to read the chat. Hey Reggie, got a few friends to check out some of your videos and they instantly fell in love with your content. You got some magic to you. Keep it up. Thank you, Justin Duguay. I'm not sure. Dark Souls is so saturated as well. Yeah, you know what's not saturated? I was speaking with the Grim Cleaper about this like a couple days ago. Warhammer, there's content creators for Warhammer, but there's not a lot of like kind of like funny content creators for Warhammer. Like, there's like memes, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's either like small little memes or it's like really big, like really big videos describing like tactics and like, you know, meta stuff. There's not a lot of like my type of content. So I'm excited to see how the Warhammer video comes out. It should be out probably on Wednesday. What about trying something like Dragon's Dogma since they announced the second game? I don't even know. I've never played Dragon's Dogma. I hear good things about it. I should look into it. I'm also looking into Crusader Kings. Might be a fun sidestep. Lots of free Warhammer games at the moment, so this is the time. Yeah. You almost got the last name. It's one of those French-Canadian last names, New Brunswick Strong. Oh, right on, dude. Are you from Moncton? Everyone I've ever met from Moncton says that they don't like Moncton. It's like literally 100% of people. It's bizarre. Hey Reggie, how long are you going to be streaming today? It's hard to start trying to watch streams while working retail. Get off 3 hours. Cozy Matt, cozy Matt. Listen, buddy, I don't know. I usually stream until my voice slowly starts giving out and I sound like a chain-smoking alcoholic mother, which probably will be in about 2 hours. So you might miss it, but we'll be back. We'll be back next week. Try Caves of Quid. Yeah, that one looks good. I saw Seth's review of it. It looks very wacky. Okay, now let's pick an ability. Astronomer's Orbs or Arcane Splinters. Lightning Strike is probably good. I'm gonna go with the Astronomer's Orbs because it looks, yeah, good. We're reaching like once I can just automate this to the point where I just stand perfectly still and read chat. That's the dream. Why is his Discord such a hellhole? I spend a lot of time thinking about that. Partially, I don't put enough effort into my Discord. Oh, jeez. That guy's... Holy crap. Oh, I don't put a lot of effort into my Discord. I should try harder. But it also... It makes me wonder, maybe this is just... Maybe this is just the viewer base. Like maybe this is just it. Maybe my viewers are just crazy. It's entirely possible. I don't know. Thanks for subscribing, brother. I think Discord is just a hellhole in general. That's true. That's true. It's kind of dicey. All right, new ability. The thing with me is like, in my videos, sometimes my videos are edgy and stuff, and it's cool, it's cool to be capable of having edgy humor, because you don't want to just be a boring person, right? But you also don't want that to be your only mode of existence. And that's what I see a lot of people online. It's like they only know how to be edgy 24/7, and it's just like, that's not a fun person to be around, you know what I mean? I'm not speaking about anyone in specific here, or even anyone in like my Discord. It's just, it just seems to be
DTD, a new vote has started.
Online, and it's I don't know, I can't recommend it. I want to fire needles from the tip of my cock as a follow-up to that serious thought. Fires needles at random nearby enemies in quick succession. Hell yeah. What we play in Reggie, this is Halls of Torment. It's like Vampire Survivors with Diablo. To be fair, Discord is actually pretty calm, just a silly place. Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing objectively wrong with my Discord. I think it's all right. It's just very like, you can't take it seriously for sure. I'm gonna go with Proficient Stance, maybe. No, this one for sure. We did spend a large amount of last stream talking about Sweaty Italian. Yeah, that got the VOD demonetized. I was like, oh, it'll be cool to see. Like, I don't know if maybe like do VODs make any like revenue? I don't know. And then I looked and like immediately it was demonetized. Probably because, well, I think we all know why. So that was, anyway, that was sad. I'll have to get my $2.35 from someone else, Susan.
DTD voting is complete and the viewers have chosen Feral Big Mama Horde Prime Weapon.
Oh, that's crazy. Usually someone in there will they won't say hi back, but they'll talk to you about some very political things. Capricorn, just subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. I need your subscriptions in order to defeat the Halls of Torment and this really fat man that's been chasing me for the past 10 minutes. They tried to convince me that Jesus was asexual. They have a good argument? Like,
DTD the voters won standard PP for defeating Snake Wu Frost.
How a girl plays Mario Kart.
How does this
Okay,
even
and I'm
make
not trying to
sense?
stereotype.
One shot
Every
it.
girl I've ever known plays Mario Kart the same way. They go, okay, what's the gas button? And then I say, that's the gas button, and this is the brake button. And they say, why would I need to use the brake? And then they proceed to like careen off of every cliff and mountain on the map. And I'm doing the same thing because I'm saying I'm not leveling up my block skill at all because I just don't think I think it's unnecessary. Okay, so we can upgrade our Astronomer's Orb, which is cool. I just want to say, I think this game is very satisfying. It's like $5. I think it might even be on sale. I recommend you guys get it if you like Vampire Survivors. I'm just going to say objectively, subjectively, that I think it's better than Vampire Survivors. Even just like the sound effects are more satisfying. And I have a better Astronomer's Orb now. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's no way that treasure chest is not going to give us a giant golden inlaid cock ring. We have to work our way to it. You know what other video I actually really liked how it turned out was the Barotrauma video. Just because, like, the actual... Oh, cool equipment. The actual recording from that session was just, like, total nonsense. Like, there was no story, there was nothing. But I somehow managed to, like, craft it into a understandable series of events. I'm gonna take this ring. So I was just really pleased with how that turned out. I was kind of impressed with my own revisionist history. There was a really interesting dungeon crawler that looks like this. I'd recommend it. I can't remember its name. Well. I love me a good dungeon crawler from time to time. But when they get too fast-paced, then I'm like my fucking fight or flight instinct kicks in and I just start dying. Bro, the way Troopin tried his best to lead but was brutally murdered in Barotrauma. Yeah, Troopin, he's really funny, dude. I like him. It was just like we all just took turns harassing him, but he never gave up. He never lost hope. Although I played Deep Rock Galactic with those guys last week, and Troopin was actually the insane one. We went on a mission and he drank like so much alcohol that everything on his screen he was seeing like triple vision, and then we had to connect a pipeline to like a mining machine, but instead he stole the pipeline and he just went and made this like weird roller coaster of like it was like a spaghetti tangle of pipelines, and it was really brutal. He was deranged would be the word I would use to describe it. Alright, these guys with the projectiles, they need to get out of here. That's me trying to not get demonetized. You guys need to get out of here. You guys need to kick rocks. Fellas. I'm gonna take a stern voice with you guys. I'm gonna level up. Area cone, maybe. Reggie, will you ever play Exanima? Yeah, I have played Exanima. It's a very fun game. Will I play it on stream? This is another question. And will I make a video about it? Another question still. Maybe. Yeah, the Barotrauma one was really fun to watch. 4 psychopaths in a submarine. It's a great combination. Yeah, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. As a Polish person, I understand Troopin's alcoholic tendencies. Yeah, he really went hard at it. Also, like, none of us had really played the game too much before, and I upgraded my liquor license, which allowed me to purchase a new beer, and it was called like the Blackout beer. And I was just like, oh boys, like, successful mission, everyone come get some of this new beer. And I mean, I don't know why I was surprised, but it caused all of us to black out, and we were just like incapacitated on the floor for like 10 minutes. It was brutal. You will always be age restricted. Yeah, man, I'm like really. I'm like, I walk that line every day. It's a hero sacrifice I make for you guys to just constantly find out where the age restriction is. You know, of all of the things in the One Health video, like the thing that got me age restricted, it wasn't like talking about like Hitler. It wasn't talking about death by firing squad. It was just like a random scene where they were like, oh, there's too much blood here. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Dude, I literally chop people up and cannibalize them in like every one of my videos, and you're like, oh no, there's too much blood. That's the issue. No consistency these days. I should probably go north, right, and get this blue thing that's been like shining for the past 10 minutes. But I am having a fun time corralling all these skeletons into a nice EXP ball. And I'm especially having a fun time killing the guys in the red robes. Oh, okay. Oh! I don't like being hit. That's like probably my least favorite part of this game. If they could fix that, it'd be perfect. I uploaded a video of Robin attacking my car and it got age restricted. Of a Robin. They'll age restrict anything, buddy. I literally do not understand any of these games. I just watch you and Kleeper play them. Listen, my man, you are the MVV, the most valuable viewer. Because you're not just there for the game. You just like the people. You like me, you like Kleeper, and I like that. So you keep being you, my man. I appreciate that very much. I think I'd hate playing Kenshi, but I love watching you guys videos like Ambiguous Amphibian and whatnot. Nice, nice. I rewatch your Matumbo video regularly. It's now my favorite thing. That's so fucking hilarious, man. When I go back and I'll watch that video sometimes, and like all I can see is like all the technical mistakes I made. I'm like, oh, like that cut was bad, and like my voice recording was bad in this scene, and like whatever, but it still stands as like a really like shining example of like your technical what's the word I'm looking for? Technical application.
DTD cooldown commands are now active.
Fun, solid idea, like it can do really good things. So I'm glad for the Matumbo video. Okay, I'm committing myself to go get the blue thing right now, but at first I have to get this experience. Look at that. This is what looks like in another level or two for us. Critical damage boost. Oh, yeah.